All right. Hi, Mish King. You just finished my video, huh? I know it was so long. Like my video from yesterday is an hour and a half. It's like crazy long. All right. Let me start up Guild Wars 2 here, and let me do. Do I have the? What is this one? Just gonna put that up. No, I guess I can put the viewer counter on. There we go. I mean, my Homestead video wasn't really that. I know that there was like a, I guess there was like a not a blog post, but like a interview or something that they had on like one of the other sites. But the thing is, like, I'm really not interested in homesteads, and I think that um, while they are nice and everything, I don't know if there's really like that much to talk about with those, you know. I tried to like look into like translating these. These are just like random symbols they drew on there. I looked into like translating those, but um, where are we? Right here. Yeah, well, now you can work on getting some legendaries on that new account and stuff. Okay, so let me turn on the sound here. Oh, you guys don't have sound. Yeah, now you can work on getting legendaries and stuff. Getting ready, you know, getting your character set up. Like, what legendary weapon are you, or what weapon are you gonna use for the expansion and stuff? All right, so level 25, level 23. Have I done all the other? I have done all the other ones. So I'm probably gonna go south here. What level am I? 21. Oof. Well, the vault doesn't refresh until the expansion launches, though, so... So you're gonna have to wait a while. Alright, I'm gonna kill these guys. Attack! I need experience points. Give me experience points. Do it. Oh god, that's so much damage. Bleeding, kill him. I mean, you can still get resources from it. I just got 30 gold for doing my weeklies from it. So what did you use the Mystic Clovers on and stuff? If you didn't make it legendary.
So much power.
No. Ugh, I hate the days. At least it's not a stun. Oh my god. Are we already finished? No, no, please, no. That was so much damage. Why did they do so much damage? Come on.
Never give up.
I'm running away. I'm running away. Healing and running away. And well, I mean, only getting like only 11 more. That's not really a lot to gamble for, or buy them, right? You can buy them nowadays. So, you want to play through the story again? Yeah, I don't. I need to play through the story again at some point. I probably will do a stream of it, playing through the story again, but right now I'm not really feeling it. I hate Dredge. They're so powerful. And then they have freaking protection on them.
So much power.
Okay, this is like really loud in my ear. Like that's why I'm yelling, because I'm like, it's so loud. Like, hello? Like everyone can hear me just fine. Lysander the Younger. Alright, that should do enough. Hey you, come here. Pine soils grow brittle over time, but for ornamentation, the wood grain of them is difficult to kill. Great, so we get some random info on that. What's happening here? Are they dead? Are they sleeping? Oh, they're dead, but we'll just say they're sleeping. Whoa. Hey, what's up? I'm good. I'm doing well. How are you? Thank you so much for following. I appreciate it. Oh my god, I gotta die, please. Thank you. I'm running away. Wait, I actually wanted to go that way. How are you doing, Benji? I'm older bro into Guild Wars 2, but he hasn't got on since the first day he tried it. Worried he don't like it, or just... why don't you ask him? Let's ask him. Maybe he does like it, but he just needs to find time. My sister, actually, I told you guys, my sister, she's gotten back into it, which is so weird. Just to tell you guys, so for the longest time, I tried to get my sister to play Guild Wars or Guild Wars 2 or whatever, right? Like, I would always talk about it and I always tell her, and for years she didn't play it. And then she had a boyfriend that played Guild Wars 2. And so he got her to play in Guild Wars 2. And then, yeah, she was just online yesterday. And so she started playing, and she plays PvP, which I never thought. Like, my sister and I, when we were growing up, we played like adventure games and like that type of stuff. And it's like so weird. Like, I told her the other day, on Monday, we were hanging out, and I was like, you know, it's so weird that you're playing like PvP. Like, I would have never imagined you playing PvP in a game. She's like, I'm so good. I play my Revenant, and I like jump into their face, and I like, you know, I kill them, and then when there's like 4 of them, like I just can kind of hold them off, but I die, and I'm like, oh my god. It's good, Benji. So it's really funny to see, yeah, just see my sister playing Guild Wars 2, specifically PvP. So, but yeah, at some point in time, we're probably gonna kind of, I'm like I told you guys. So I want to set up this room so that I can stream with her together in the room here, because I do have my other PC, and I've been streaming for a long time now. I've been streaming for 7 years. But I want to set up the room so that I can, we can stream together in the room. And so I got to move stuff around though to make that happen. So I'm probably gonna start doing that this weekend or something. We'll see. I don't know when we're gonna be able to stream together, but it'd be kind of cool. Oh my god. Benji, are you a bot? Because if you're a bot, just say so I can just block you. Okay? Like, I don't deal with that shit. Because you sound like a bot. Yeah. Someone that wants to sell me something. Trust me, I don't have money for you.
Adrenaline surging.
Bleeding. Oh god. See, I'm almost dead again. Jeez, I hate these dredge. They've always been doing that. They've always done that. That's why I stopped streaming on Kick, because on Kick I have all of the followers or subscribers or whatever they are on Kick, right? Like, all of those are all bots. They come in, they say, hey, I really like your stream, and they follow or they subscribe or they do whatever, but they're all bots. They do that all the time. This happens all the freaking time now. So it's just, Okay, clearly Benji is a bot, so let me just go block ban him because... I mean, it's just like, oh, what the hell? But yeah, they can follow now. Bots can do that. I mean, I don't know if... That was clearly a bot, though. Like, that was not... Like, I see you're busy. I'm like, yeah, I know you're a bot. I don't get any actual people, like, watching these days. That's why I haven't been streaming a lot, because I just don't get anyone watching, you know? It's the same with the, like... I don't know. I guess they are cracking down. The problem is that... I don't know. And I don't know what their process is, but I would imagine that they crack down on the bots that go into the larger channels, right? They don't care about little channels like me. Like, I don't make them a lot of money, so they don't care, right? So I have a feeling that they probably look at, bigger channels and what kind of bots go in there or whatever. Or maybe it's now at a point now where the bots are now trying to go to the smaller channels because that will make them less seen. Right? Because they're cracking down on bots, and they're, like I said, probably cracking down on bigger channel bots, like that are coming into bigger channels and stuff. And so they're instead cracking down or they're leaving, like, the bots are now coming into smaller channels like mine. I feel like that's what it is. Which doesn't make any money at all from big channels. Any chance which was bleeding money last year? Really? That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, with the amount of advertisement that they make, I can't imagine why they wouldn't make any money. But it also depends on how much money the CEO you know, who owns Twitch? Twitch isn't independent, right? It's owned by something. Oh my god. Is it independent? Is it like its own thing? Hey, how are ya? No time, no see? Long time no see is what you meant to say, but I know what you meant.
You are a welcome guest.
Looking to
But
spend
yes,
some
welcome
coin?
in. I don't stream a lot anymore. Because I don't know. I just don't get a lot of views on my stuff. So I'd rather work on videos and stuff. Like the last 2 days. So Monday I was having kind of a rough day, and so I decided to not stream. And instead I hung out with my sister. We stayed up until like 6 in the morning, like playing video games together. And then yesterday I went to bed super early. Did I go to bed super early? No, I did not. I did not go to bed super early. I slept a long time though. But welcome nonetheless. I'm trying to get this. This is so rough. I have no idea how to get this without dying. Those cannons are not good. Bad at idioms. That's okay. I am too. I am bad too at that stuff. Oh my god. See, this guy takes half my health in one attack. That's where actual dodging comes in. You gotta be good at dodging. No! No! Oh my god, please don't come over here. 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 Run away, run away, run away, run away. How do they not regenerate health? Why are they not regenerating health? Oh, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Amazon owns Twitch, so yeah, last year said Twitch is losing money, so they really don't care about it that much. I wonder if they're gonna think about, like, I don't know, shutting it down. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because you have the Prime, Twitch Prime. Thank you, I appreciate that. I don't know how to get this hard, you guys. This is rough. What do I get through this? Hero points. Is that all I get? But yeah, I don't know. It wouldn't it be crazy? What would you guys think if like tomorrow Amazon says we're shutting down Twitch forever? Well, what do you guys think would happen? Do you think everyone would jump on YouTube, or would everyone jump on Kick? Like what? Like I feel like that would be huge. Like in the gaming space alone. Yeah, these guys aren't regenerating health, which is actually a good thing. Because that means that I can do this and then just run away and just do little stabby attacks every so often. Okay. Oh my god, these guys are like bugged or something. Oh, he died. He had a delay. Oh. Heal. And stabby and run away. Cool. That doesn't give me progress for the hard though. People would just start using YouTube, but since they can use Twitch to advertise their products, then maybe it's worth it for them. I mean, maybe, but if they're losing money off of it, you know, I mean, let's be real. Amazon can advertise anywhere and everywhere, right? Like they have the money to do that, and maybe that is a much better way. Like other places might be a much better way to advertise than to pump money into something that's losing them money, right? Like, and it takes like, you know, it takes manpower, right? Like they have to keep these people employed to work on the servers, to work on all these different things, and to keep the platform running and stuff. Just for advertisement, it seems like a lot of effort just to have some extra advertisement in there, you know? And how effective is the advertisement on Twitch? I mean, who knows?
Adrenaline surging.
But I think that if they wanted to just pump money into advertisement, that YouTube is a much better platform if they're looking for people that are, you know, like gamers and stuff like that. I feel like that's a much better platform where they can just put ads in there, you know? But yeah, do you guys think that that's something that could happen? Do you guys think that Twitch could at some point like disappear? I mean, it depends on how much money they're losing from it, I'm sure. But let's be real, Amazon is a company that really only cares about their bottom line. They don't care about the gamers and the enjoyment that people have out of using the platform, right? They don't care. They're like a capitalist company through and through, so... yeah.
My strength increases.
I see that this is like bigger than what it needs to be. No. I can't tell. Alright, I'm just gonna leave it like that. Hold on, I'm trying not to die. I gotta run away. This is too much damage. It's crazy to me how bad New World with a crazy budget like this. Well, the thing is, from what I heard with New World is there was multiple different things. It was first of all that the engine that they created is apparently like for New World. I guess they created like a specific engine or something like that, and apparently that engine is really hard to work on. So that making any modifications to the game is just really difficult, and I'm not sure why they chose to do that. But yeah, that's what I heard at least, right? And then also I heard obviously that it was like mismanaged for a long time and yada yada yada. It's apparently doing better now. Apparently it's going a lot better. But I don't know. I don't know if New World is gonna rise from the ashes or something in a new way, you know? And be your loyal fan. You know nothing about me. What is your name? Pair me 69 64 91. Go away. Imagine if Amazon owned ArenaNet. I think we wouldn't have Guild Wars 2 anymore. I think if that was the case, we wouldn't have Guild Wars 2 anymore. I think that's the kind of company that that they are. The spot for the loyal fan is taken. Yeah, I mean, I guess. My most loyal fan is still Emily. Emily's still like, none of you guys can compete against Emily as loyal fan. I like the stitching on this. It's interesting what they try to do there. No, Emily's not Mish. Emily is someone else. Emily doesn't she's very quiet when she's here, but she does pop in once in a while.
Good hunting.
She's quiet. I love that outfit, by the way. We don't have that. It's kind of a variation of the outfit that you get from the what is it, like the racial clothing, the regular racial clothing one or whatever. Yeah, no, Emily's still my top fan. She's the only one she's the only one that is a member on YouTube, okay? And she's been a member on YouTube for like 2 years now, right? She's the only one there. She's the one that always shares all of my content. She's part of a different Discord where she shares all of my stuff all the time. She is the only one that has ever bought any merch from my merch store. Like I'm just saying, like, she has done stuff for my channel that no one else has done, and it would take a long time for anyone to kind of catch up to that. She's done like, I mean, she's been just a huge supporter of the channel out of like everyone, you know?
My strength increases.
Yeah. Yeah, she's been a huge supporter. She's been part of like many streams. She is usually, when I release a video, 95% of the time she will always leave a comment on it. She always watches. She will always have some kind of input. When she misses a stream, she might even like go back and watch those later on and leave a comment there. Like she's been a huge supporter in a big way. And yeah, so she's been still I would say my most loyal fan for a few years now. It's been like, I think Emily's been part of the like 3 or 4 years now or something. I mean, she's been a part of the community for a long time now. Dude, this hard is taking forever. It's so hard to do. That's a dedicated. Yeah, she's dedicated. She's a true fan, you know. Well, that's the thing though. I think that is what differentiates a true fan, you know, a true loyal fan from just regular people that are just hanging out, right? Is like they support you no matter what, right? Like you release a video and it doesn't matter if it's a crappy video, if it's a good video, if it's whatever, like they support you, you know? I'm not saying everyone needs to buy something off of the merch store, but she was like immediately when I released the merch store, she bought an item off of the merch store, right? And I don't need her to buy something all the time, right? But it was just, she, I guess, collects mugs, and so she bought a mug off of the merch store. Like, that means like a lot to me, you know what I mean? That's crazy to me that someone would do that. So that means a lot to me. And you know, just being dedicated, being there for, she's not here for every stream. I mean, there's many streams where I don't see Emily, but there was, I will tell you guys, there was a period of time for like a whole year where the only person that was in my streams was Emily. Like you can go back to those streams. Like if you go like a year or two back in those streams and you watch any of those streams, you will see that the only person that is in those streams was Emily. And she was having like conversations with me and she was asking me about whatever, you know. If you look at any, for example, if you look at any of the comparison streams that I used to do, she was there for all of those comparison streams. And there wasn't a lot of people watching those. Like where I compared Guild Wars 1 to Guild Wars 2, there wasn't a lot of people in those streams. But she was there. She was watching every single one of those streams. So when AFK and I'm misidentified as Emily? No. But being here is up. And that's fine. No, and that's okay. I get it that not everyone has money, you know, but we were just talking about like who my most loyal supporter is, right? So I said that Emily is my most loyal supporter. Oh, you've been here. Like you're definitely one of the top fans, right? Like I don't dispute that at all. But I'm saying like if I had to pick a top fan out of like right now, if I had to pick someone that has been consistently a big supporter of the channel, that is my most loyal fan, it's definitely Emily, because Emily has been part of the channel for like 3 to 4 years. She even like for the release of End of Dragons, I was doing a giveaway. I was doing a 5-day stream. I was doing from Monday all the way to Friday. I streamed every day for the release of End of Dragons. I had taken off of work for that. I had all these giveaways, all these prizes, and she even donated a prize. I don't know, was it a legendary that she donated? I'm pretty sure it was a legendary. It was like I don't remember what it was. I think it was a Gen 1 legendary that she gifted me to give away, right? And that was like the grand prize on Friday for the last stream that I did, which was provided by her. Like that's how dedicated of a, like, you know, loyal fan she's been of the channel. So it's really cool. I mean, like, I'm not saying that anyone needs to do that, but if I were to measure and compared to what, like I said, she's been a subscriber or a member. She's the only member that I have on my YouTube channel right now, and she's been a member consistently for 2 years, I think. Give me 10 years. You got accepted in med school. Well, congratulations. That's awesome. That's great. That's exciting stuff there, man. That's really cool. I love that. I love that. That's awesome. I want to see how long Emily has been a... Let's see here. No. A memberships. Emily. 20 months ago. Emily has been a member for 20 20 months. So she has truly been, for a long time, been a big fan. And that's the thing, she's my, she's, you know, that's what I'm saying, like, my most loyal fan. And I know not everyone has money to give out like that. I understand, you know. I totally get that. But, you know, she has had, like, she has been a member for 20, for 20 months, you know, but she's the only member to. There was a short time where I had a couple other people that got like a membership for like a month or so, but she's been consistently for 20 months. She's been a member. So I haven't seen Emily. She was here when I watched my first stream of yours, and she said hi to me. Fans of a streamer act like that. Quite welcome. Yeah, she's great. I mean, Emily. I've also Emily was a few months ago, we did a Mario Kart World stream. I did a Mario Kart World stream, and she was kind of the one that organized the whole thing. So if you go back to that stream, like, you can actually see that Emily's there. We've done like streams with her before, where I did like I want to say I did some like rating or stuff and stuff. Like, she's been on the channel a few times now, but she's kind of quiet. She's a little bit more quiet. She doesn't really talk, but yeah, she's super friendly. She's super nice. She's one of the kindest people I think that I've ever met on YouTube, you know. So yeah, she's just been great all around. So I just think that she's just, you know, she's a great person. So I was rating. I've said this before. I don't know why you don't. I've said this before. I've rated before. This is not a secret. This is not a secret at all. I've rated before. This is not recent. I'm not talking about recent times. I'm talking like a year ago. I have rated. I will never raid again. Just because you guys want me to raid, it makes me not want to do it at all. The more someone wants me to do something, the less I'm gonna do it. I'm like a child, alright? I'm like a teenage child. Wish I had a Switch too. I would have joined played if I could. Yeah, I need to organize another Mario Kart night. Just kind of sit down and see. I don't know, next week I'm gonna be busy. I don't think I'm gonna be streaming a lot next week, or like, yeah, I won't be streaming. I'll probably work on videos and stuff like that, but I won't be streaming, I don't think so, because I'm doing a day trip with my sister. Oh my god, hello. Alright, I gotta work on that hard still, so I'm gonna try to work on that hard as much as I can. We'll do strikes sometimes. Yeah, I mean, I might do strikes. I kind of want to see, like, I'll probably definitely try out the Guild Wars, the Visions of Eternity, like, whatever they get there. You know, I don't know if there's gonna be, like, maybe the Fractal. I don't know if I'm gonna do the raid or not. I'm not sure. It depends on how all of that is structured.
So much power.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because I've done all the fractals probably 100 billion times in my lifetime now. I've done those fractals so many times. I've never gotten past, I think my personal fractal level is like 72. I've never gotten to tier 4. I've never gotten into tier 4 fractaling. But I've raided before. The streams are up. There's streams on YouTube right now that you can watch where I raid. I can let me see if I can find one. Let me see if I can find one. Why can't I jump? What is happening? This is so janky. Like, I'm trying to, let me see if I can find it. I want to see if I can find one of my old screens from raiding. This is December 2023. I did some raiding. I wonder. Oh my god, I remember my character looked like that. Was that in Chicken's stream? That might have been in Chicken's. Yeah, I'm bored of fractals too. So that was the last stream that I ever did of raiding, which was at the end of 2023. So it's almost 2 years now that I've been doing raiding. I did a lot of CMs, and the only viable healer right now is Pyramids or Firebrand. Oh, maybe they'll change that. Maybe you can play Troubadour. Or even Evoker. I'm just kidding. Evoker sucks right now for healing. They need to add Dungeon Pass into Fractals, mix them up. I would love that. I would honestly love that. I would love for them to, the way that I would want them to do it, and hear me out, guys. Okay, I know that that's probably not really ideal, and a lot of people would be like, that really sucks. But the way that I would want them to do is completely remove the explorable paths from the dungeons, and only leave the story paths, and have you gain the dungeon tokens through doing the story path, and then just adding the explorable path as fractals. Ta-da! There you go. That's what I would like to see. I'm wondering how Ritualists will end up. Imagine if they added some sort of Mythic Plus for dungeons. I mean, fractals. I don't see that happening for dungeons, but I could see that happening. I could see that happening for fractals for sure. And they could have it, see, the way that they could have it set up too with the explorable paths, if they add those in like that, the way they could have it set up is they could have you gaining, or like, because there's every dungeon path has like 3 or 4 different paths that you can take, right? So what if it's like randomized? You know, like how we go in the underwater fractal, right? And you either get the dolphin one, or you get the one where you have to go through the dark corridor, and it's not randomized anymore. I think they have it like set on like what tier level you are or something. I don't remember, but they could have it where those different dungeon paths appear randomly or something, right? And so you never know which one you're doing, right? So that'd be kind of cool, because it would add some randomness to it, you know? Story path CM. That would be kind of cool. I would like that a lot. Just kind of increase the difficulty. That would be kind of cool. The thing with Ritualist, so I don't know if you watched my video on it, but I think Ritualist needs some big changes. One of the biggest disappointments of the Elite specializations for me right now is Ritualist. I think Ritualist is so bad the way that it's designed. So bad. So, yeah, I agree with you on it. Yeah, I just think that, I don't know, just the way that they have the spirits is just bad. It just feels bad. It's so bad. Like, it's weird, because why do you have the summoning of the spirits tied to them as also doing the attack? Like, that's what I don't get, first of all. And then it's like, why are they tied to the shroud? They shouldn't be tied. The spirit should be tied to the shroud. There's no reason for that. Why is that needed? Like, the strong, powerful attacks, yes, I can understand why those are tied to the shroud, because those are powerful, and you don't want those be accessible all the time. Like, that I get, right? But, like, the auto attacks of the spears aren't that crazy. They're really not that crazy. Just decouple them from the shroud, please. Yeah, the Ritualist feels really, really bad. They need to make some changes. If they don't make changes, it's probably going to be one of the biggest disappointments that I have had with an expansion. You know, if they don't make some serious changes to it. Especially, but I tried a Vampire and Minimancer build and really enjoyed it, so I'm sold. I don't understand why they're tied to Shroud. There's no reason. Like, you know what I hate? Is when ArenaNet implements something in the game, you know, or not implement, but they have something in the game, and then they give the player something that's like it, but then they make it way worse, okay? Like, to give an example that's not Ritualist, okay? Just so that I can... Oh, perfect. I got some base increase to my stats. That's good. That's gonna help a lot. No, to give an example though. So the Paragon, right? So they introduced the Spellbreaker, right? They talked about, oh, there's no Paragons anymore. They're now Spellbreakers. Okay. And then that was with Path of Fire. Path of Fire releases. And a month later we go into Season 4. And what's the first thing that we see in Season 4? Is Paragons. Like, the enemy Paragons that you fight that actually use, like, anthems and all this stuff, right? Like, and even dervishes. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm like, you just talked about, like, you just implemented a whole elite specialization that's all about, oh, we're not Sun Spears anymore, and Paragons don't exist anymore, and we're breaking the tips off our spears because you didn't want to do land-based spears. But then you have, like, land-based spears on this fucking class, like on this NPC a month later. Like, that really got me. That really pissed me off because I was like, ugh. Like, you're kind of going against something you just said happened, okay? Like, that just really annoyed me so much, okay? Like, it's just crazy. Trash Talking Ritualist, hi NM, how are you? They could just make it similar to Scourge. Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's pretty much what we're saying with having the spirits on the F abilities. They want people to have the DPS spirits just to counter the Ritualist. They don't want people to have to DPS the spirits just to counter the Ritualist. But we're not even saying that. We're saying, like, you don't have to DPS the spirits. Just decouple them from the Shroud. They still don't have their own life bar. Like, that you don't that at all. Like, I get what you're kind of saying is like, okay, well, in order to not have to DPS the spirits, we're attaching them to the Shroud so they're not permanently on the field, but they don't do that much damage. The only thing that does a lot of damage on those is the actual abilities that are in the Shroud. And like I said, you can limit those to the Shroud. I think the auto attacks on the spirits isn't that bad. Like, I don't think that, and they could have like the duration, like if they're worried about PvP, again, we have a split between PvE and PvP. So make them last like a short amount of time. Make them last only 10 seconds in PvP. Okay? So then at that point, it's only 10 seconds and you don't have to worry about them living long enough or having to worry about you getting attacked the whole time by them if they're only lasting 10 seconds, right? Like, there is a way to balance that, I think. Decouple from the Shroud or give us access. But my issue with it is not having access to enough skills or something in the Shroud, right? The Shroud has always been that it's just weapon skills, okay? I don't care if or just using the weapon skills, not the weapon spells, right? I'm two different things. But the thing is that, like, the shroud has always been designed to just be weapon skills and not be utility skills, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. Okay, but having the spirits, like, it feels really, really bad when you go out of shroud and your main utility is gone and is on cooldown now, which is the spirits, and you can't resummon them. Like, it's weird, and it feels really bad because it's like, okay, now the spirits are gone, and it, I think, if the way they are right now, if they stay that way, every single build, every single person will always pick lingering spirits because that makes the spirits hang out after shroud. Okay, like, the other ones can't even compare to that at all, I don't think so. And it actually seems like they initially wanted to make Ritualist a shroudless necrospec. They said it led to bad gameplay. I mean, maybe it leads to bad gameplay, but the thing is that the way that it's implemented right now is not the way that a Ritualist... Again, so I just did the argument with Paragon, right? Where I did the argument with Paragon. So my other argument then for Ritualists is that we have Ritualists in Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2, okay, that summon spirits without going into some kind of shroud. So again, they're giving something to NPCs, and then they're having to change it for us players because it led to bad gameplay. Well, figure out a way to make it work without making it feel clunky, because having to go into shroud to summon your spirits is really clunky and annoying to me. And then also having the spirits summon and at the same time use their skills as well feels really weird to me. Like, having their attacks, their special attacks tied to their own summoning as well is so strange to me, because it's like, well, maybe I want to load up the spirits and get them out and then position them correctly and then use the abilities at the right time. You know what I mean? Like, use them all at the same time or something. Like, it leads to, like, weird... I don't know. It just feels bad to me. Since auto attacks and ritual shroud don't make any sense, it's not useful at all. I feel the trait of keeping the spirits outside of the shroud makes the spec a whole lot more fun. It makes it a whole lot fun, and I can tell you right now that that is... And any meta build is going to be taking those. It's going to be taking that trait, because it makes them attack faster when you're out of shroud, and it makes them last longer. It makes them... If you have a full shroud... bar when you go out of shroud or whatever, right? Like, then they persist and attack way longer, and it actually feels good to have them hanging out, you know. Support, especially on support, it's important to have tools availability on demand. I think Arena said lingering might become baseline, so GM definitely changing. I mean, is that what they said? I didn't see that anywhere. You see that song? Where did you see that? I would have the spirit persist and have their abilities cost life force. If the spirit dies, it would dramatically deplete life force. So the spec would focus on sustaining the spirits to DPS or heal. I mean, and that's the thing, right? Like, we're coming up so easily, maybe not so easily. I mean, I don't know how long you sat on that answer, right? But the thing is, we're coming up fairly easily with solutions to this problem other than tying it to the shroud. You know what I mean? I just think that that's bad design. It's just really bad design, and it doesn't feel like a Guild Wars 1 Ritualist. A Guild Wars 1 Ritualist could just summon the spirits. Why do I need to be in Shroud to summon the spirits? Like, that doesn't happen in Guild Wars 1, that doesn't happen in Guild Wars 2, it's only exclusive to us because they can't find a way to balance it otherwise? For PvP? This is not even a PvE issue. This is a PvP issue. Like, I don't know, that feels bad to me. Well, Mish, that's... Yeah, they should have they should just make the F2s or F4 work as flipovers, and that's exactly what I said in my video. So in my video, I said exactly that. That the F2, F3, F4 are your summon spirits abilities, and they flip over to the detonate abilities, right? And the thing is, if the spirits auto attacks aren't that powerful, that I don't think that they need to worry about that. If they're worried about the spirits being too strong in PvP, then, you know, to have them persist outside of the shroud, then they can just lower the auto attack damage in PvP for the spirits, for example, right? So if they don't want to lower the time that they're out to 10 seconds and leave it at 30 seconds, like my idea was having them out for 30 seconds or whatever, right? But if they don't want to do that, right? And they say, okay, well, we don't want to lower the amount of time that they're out because whatever. They can just lower the auto attack damage because that's all they do outside of Shroud, right? Like outside of the Shroud abilities 2, 3, and 4, they just sit there and auto attack. So if the issue is that they do too much damage in PvP, then just lower the damage they do in PvP. You know, like I just, you already have a split game mode balance, like split balance for the game modes. Why does it need to be? I don't know. It just feels really bad to me. It feels really, really bad. I'm gonna be honest. It's one of the things that was a huge disappointment because those were, the Ritualist was one of the ones that I was really looking forward to. Where I was like, hell yeah, I can't wait, you know. But yeah, right now I'm just like, oh god, this sucks ass. And not the good kind of sucking ass.
Kill him.
They shouldn't have their auto attacks. Anger Spirit could just deal damage as they do right now, but the Healing Spirit could send out pushes of heal. They should probably do something like that, right? Like, I think at least the healing one needs to have something. Because if you want to design a heal spec or a heal build around that, you would need that to do some kind of healing, right? So I agree with you. At least on the healing spirit that it has like a different auto attack. I agree with you on that. Here, you know, and can I be just a little crazy? Okay, so, and I said this, I put this comparison a lot. I put this comparison a lot in the video, but you know, the Amalgam got so many different abilities, like got 8 different skills that I can slot into my F abilities, okay? Like giving you all these different options on doing different things, right? Like we didn't just get utility skills. We didn't just get 3 different abilities on our F bar. No, we got 8 different ones that you can choose from. So here's a crazy thought. We had plenty of different spirits in Guild Wars 1. Why not give us options on spirits? Okay, give us 3 attacking ones, 3 healing ones, and 3 CC ones. And we can pick and choose, or they don't even have to do 3 of all of them, right? They could do 2. They could have 2 DPS, 2 healing, and then 2 CC. And we can kind of pick and choose what we want. And we get a little arrow above each of the F abilities that are now the summoning of the spirits. And we can pick, oh, okay, I want this spirit and I want this spirit, right? So you can say, if you're doing pure DPS, you can say, I'm doing 2 DPS spirits, and the third one is going to be CC one. Because you're going to need CC if you're just doing DPS, right? Like, you can always, it's always nice to have some knockdown or something in there, boom, and you can kind of change it, right? And each of those has their own, like, auto attack where they do different things. And then it changes your abilities in your Shroud based on which abilities you have, which spirits you have equipped in your F bar, okay? And then that way we can have all these different spirits. They don't have to do crazy different new designs, but you could just have them as, you know, because they have the name tag. And let's be real, in Guild Wars 2 or in Guild Wars 1, we only got 2 different looking spirits anyways for the Ritualist. So you could just have, you know, those 3 separate looking spirits, right? And you can just have the healing one looks like that one, and then the damage one looks like that, and the CC one looks like that, right? You already have 3 different kinds of spirits, and you could just have it designed like that. Like, I think that would be really cool. I think that would be really cool to give us, like, why does the Amalgam get all these options and none of the other elite specializations gets any options, right? Like, they get way more, like, the amount of animations and work that it took to make all of those skills for Amalgam really showed that they put way more effort into Amalgam than they did in all the other ones, right? Like, I honestly think, like, hell, they should do different spirits on there. I feel Ritualist could be fixed a bit of rework. My main concern is Conduit. The rest of the specs were pretty great. Actually, I think Raza should have completely different abilities depending on a second legend you choose. After all, he was able to play as any class in Guild Wars 1. I don't disagree on that. I think that would be interesting to see. I think, we talked about it. Actually, there was a comment left on my video from yesterday, where someone, who was it? Was it one of you guys that left that comment? I don't remember who left the comment, but the comment went something like, let me read it. Oh no, not on this one. Hold on, you guys. Ann Palang 2899 said, the lantern idea is amazing. I actually would rather have that than a shroud on my character. So it was interesting. So in my video, I talked about how they need to utilize the lantern, right? And they need to use, or brazier. They call it a brazier, but we all call it lantern, right? And utilize the lantern as a visual guide to how full your spec is, right? So, or your shroud is, not your spec, your shroud, right? And have like, as you use your shroud, and the, I just, oh God, I didn't mean to mount. Why can't I just sit here for like a few minutes and gone? But the idea was that, that would be the visual indicator of how far down, how much you've already used of your shroud, right? So you would, as your shroud gets lower and lower, instead of having a bar right here on screen where you have to like see, oh, okay, my bar is going down slowly, you actually have the lantern behind you that is showing the energy that is slowly depleting, okay? And so it was like interesting because I didn't even think about that. That person was like, yeah, I would rather have that than a shroud. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, they could just completely get rid of the shroud, right? So if they get rid of the shroud and they just use the lantern as like the energy in the lantern and have that as the mechanic, that opens up the ability to use the shroud on a different profession, right? So I would love to see the shroud get taken away from the luminary and get added to the conduit, where you get a shroud when you go into cosmic wisdom, and depending on which of your secondary, like, or which of your legends you have equipped, right? And you go into cosmic wisdom, you actually take a shroud form of that monk, mesmer, dervish, blah, 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 all of these, and you actually change your form. Because that's the thing about it, right? Like I talked about in the videos, like the forms were cool because they changed what your character looked like. That's what people really liked about it, you know? Some of them weren't even useful. Like many of the forms weren't even useful, but the cool part was that some of them were useful, but they also made you look really badass because you're now an avatar of the gods or whatever, right? So they could have a shroud ability for the conduit because they're halfway there anyways, right? Like they're halfway there, but they just didn't go the whole way because they already have a shroud for a different profession. So just take the shroud away from Luminary. It doesn't need the shroud. It doesn't feel like a shroud anyways. You know? So yeah, I do love when arena that says something too OP for a certain spec, or spooky, but then amalgam and troubadour dump damage and boons. Again, the numbers can always change. There's obviously going to be a nerf to amalgam, right? There's obviously going to be a change to it, right? I wouldn't take the numbers that we have right now for granted, and that's where I was trying to get at with my video, right? In the video, I didn't talk about damage numbers. I didn't talk about the boons that it provided. Like in some shape or form, I talked about it, like how Evoker doesn't have like on the healing spec, like you can't really make a good healing spec out of it because Otter doesn't provide anything useful that we don't already have access to in Plethora, you know, like cleansing conditions and regen and stuff. We already have all that. But the thing is that like they can always change those numbers. They can change what any ability does. They can just slap a quickness on something and boom, all right, now you have a quickness spec. Whatever. Like I don't think that that's very that's not very, like, not deep enough of a change to really warrant, like, you know, getting my pitchforks and torches out, you know, because it's like they can just change that tomorrow, you know. Nerf Amalgam. Yeah, so we just talked about that because Amalgam was designed by the same person who did Gale Shot. Yeah, but that's not a good reason to have, to have Amalgam and Gale Shot be the leading men out of 9 specs and have all the other ones kind of fall behind design-wise. Like, I'm just talking design-wise. I know that Evoker has like a 55k DPS build. Like, I get that, right? Like, but that's not important. Like, I don't think that that's important because they can nerf that tomorrow. Like I said in the video, they can nerf it tomorrow and have it be a 25k spec and have it completely suck worse than all the other. Like, you can play a healing spec and do more damage, right? Like, we don't know. But I don't think that that's very important. Like, that's the base of what balance should be about anyway. So they should be aiming to balance all of these anyways. I don't think that we need to sit here and figure out, like, oh my god, this is crazy, you know? But I get what you guys are saying, nonetheless. I mean, the animations for Gale Shot alone looks like they put a lot into it as well. So much style, fucking beauty of a spec, utility, cyclone bow, chest. I mean, and they are really good. They look really good. It's crazy because one of the animations was actually reused, and I don't think anyone has actually realized this yet. I think if you guys go back, if you guys go and look at like the you create a new character or you play some kind of instance that has air in it, air actually uses very specific longbow skills that are not available to us in game. And I think the barrage that we do in the cyclone bow with the Gale Shot is actually a reused animation of that. So I think some of those are actually reused animations, unused animations for like that haven't been used since then, right? But I'm pretty sure that they took those and they did something. They look very similar to it. So if you guys ever look it up, you can see it. So, and now compared to something like Ritualist or Evoker, which was supposed to have an effective support bill. I mean, and that's the thing. Like that's why I said, like, you know, the thing is, ArenaNet can't give one profession 8 options on, like, to slot into 3 different slot skills, right? Like 8 different skills to slot into the skill, and not do that with all the other ones, like, at least in some shape or form, right? Like I said, I really think for the Luminary, we should have an option of which weapon we're specializing in, okay? Give me an option of, do I want the hammer? Do I want the staff? Do I want the shield? Do I want the sword and shield? Right? Like, give me an option of those. And then have my spec be dependent on which weapon I choose. Okay? Evoker. Let me choose if I want to do a supportive build and have my abilities change on my otter depending on which one I want to do. Right? Like, there could be a damage dealing otter or there could be a defensive type toad. Right? Like, something like that, you know? I think the jump backwards shot of Cyclone Bow is something air does in combat, slightly different. Yeah, it definitely, there's definitely something there. I wonder if I can pull it up on a character somewhere. I don't have another slot open. Where is this guy in his story? Especially since they said they will make new elite specs much more impactful in terms of their progression mechanics to compensate to the fact that they won't have new... And that's the thing, right? Because I think that that Amalgam is like the most well thought out spec out of all of them because it has all these options. It can do all these things, right? And I can like I have these options of slotting different skills. Because, like you said, I don't have weapon skills, so it's nice that I have some options. But there's certain ones that you're kind of stuck with just using whatever because that's kind of what it works with, you know? And it just kind of sucks in that sense. Story-wise, where am I at? Yeah, let me see if I can get... I don't know if this is a story with air in it. Let me see if I can pull it up for you guys because it's really cool. I think a lot of people don't realize... only Antiquary and Amalgam are made with this in mind. And yeah, and that's the thing. Antiquary got so many different artifacts that they can use, right? Like, it's crazy. Ritualist is a downgrade in terms of design. Oh, 100%. All right, here's Air. We're just gonna let her fight. I don't care.
Minotaur, it's the Minotaur. It's a spirit like bear or wolf. I'm a tracker by bear's bald butt. I know the difference.
If such a spirit exists, it hasn't been seen in generations. Why would it show up now?
All I know is that it's out there. Once we get going, you'll see for yourself.
This is my owl-themed character, by the way. Can't wait. I'm gonna make him a Gale shot. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna fit so well. Are you kidding? It's gonna be fitting. I love it. I'm excited. Can I give you guys speed boost? Can I do that? Oh, these guys are not affected by that.
I told you, Fergan, there's nothing out here.
You just wait, kiddo.
It was the boss fight in HOT
Watch
story.
those
Well, there's a lot going
stand up in
on,
the
so I actually think that the early
Minotaurs
stories is
in
probably the
trees.
best way to show,
Mere Minotaur.
because there's not a lot going
It's a
on.
spirit of
The
the
boss
wild,
battle in
granddaddy
HOT, I
of
don't know.
all
Look at
Minotaurs.
Mechanist.
Hush now.
Oh, you mean in the video that happens? Look at Mechanist, Spectre, Rituals, or Harbinger. They're all way better thought out. Way better thought out. Okay. Is she gonna fight? I wonder, is she just gonna use... She just auto-attacking? She did use a different... Oh, look at that. Usually they're red. Did they change those in color? Usually she shoots red arrows. Like on those special abilities. But yeah, that barrage, like I think that was the early barrage animation that they had.
I agree. Something's driving those Minotaurs to attack. But what?
The spirit. It's here to protect its kind.
Anyways. Do you remember after... See, so do you remember after End of Dragons Spec Beta, did ArenaNet update some skill animations UI elements? Because I vaguely remember that they actually did make some dramatic changes. I don't remember. I was thinking about that too the other day, and that's a good point. I was thinking about that. And I don't know. From what I remember, they did not make a lot of changes. I remember that those betas were very like set in stone. I want to say like the beta elite specs like were pretty set in stone, but I could be completely wrong. I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea how much, if at all, they changed any of them. So I don't know if anyone in chat can chime in on that because I have no clue. Spectre was not so good at first, but currently it's amazing. I just think it's clunky the way to use. Oh, and Raleigh, I checked the options. Actually, there's an option to turn off accidentally swapping between targets when using... Oh, really? Oh, okay. It helped me a lot when using ally targeted spells. Oh, okay. Interesting. Interesting. Maybe I'll get into Spectre at some point in time again. Because I really love the idea of like a shadow mage that deals with like inflicting different conditions and stuff. I really like that idea, so. Oh, hello. Arcaflak. It's Arcaflak, you guys. Do we need to use ally targeting right now on Spectre? Oh, really? No, with End of Dragons, they changed stuff after End of Dragons launched. It was a big deal. Oh my god, I wish my memory was better because I don't remember any of that. I don't remember that at all. But that would probably, did they do the beta like really close to? It kind of makes me want to go and watch that same watch that stream and like look at that stream that because I know I did like a beta stream for End of Dragons. Like I know there was a beta stream that I did. Again, I can look it up. You only use it to spam auto attacks on allies when Shroud is on cooldown. Nice. That sounds pretty easy. I would like to get into Spectre then.
I'm going to enjoy.
Oh, I have a review that I did. Beta and Elite Specs review. It's an hour long.
So I really see a lot of potential for the Harbinger in a lot of different game modes, world versus world, and if they tweak certain things.
You know what? Do you guys want to actually look at that video for a second? How opposed are we to watching that video? How much do you guys hate me if I put that video on right now? It was around the same time when WP lost interest in playing Guild Wars 2 among dealing with his real life stuff. I remember me and my friend questioning why Arena didn't take feedback. You just spam Scepter 2, which is not ground targeted. You use a well-up bounty and steal an enemy off cooldown and go into Shroud constantly. That actually sounds fun. So this is my old this is a video. So this
Like,
was
people and stuff and give out a ton of
so this is when I had 275 subscribers on YouTube. This was like old as I was wearing a hat. I used to wear a hat a lot. I don't even think I have all these crazy hats here. I haven't worn in forever. I have this like cool God. It's like it looks really dirty, but it's just dusty because it's just been sitting here. I have the shark hat. Anyways, I used to wear hats. I used to be hat wearer.
boons. And as the minstrel, you were supposed to have these sound-based, like make like this little orchestra kind of thing, and your illusions were supposed
Maybe
to
a
like,
rally,
play music
I know.
and stuff like that. So theme-wise, I didn't get it.
3 years
Mechanics,
ago.
same, because once again, it kind of plays into the whole like healing and stuff. Now on the weapon, I actually got it right on the enchanter because I did say dagger or double dagger, and we're getting a dagger, so I'm giving myself a point there. Not like I have like a.
So what I'm doing in this video, just so you guys know, I just put it away, didn't I? Wait, maybe I did not. I think it's. Is it this notebook? Okay, so I made my elite specialization speculations that I did, and then I did the review based off of this. Okay, and I gave myself points depending on, because I came up with 2 sets, right? So, you know, when I was reviewing like the Virtuoso, I was looking at like, okay, did I get the theme right? Did I get the mechanic right? Did I get the weapon right? Did I get the utilities right? Did I get the traits right? You know, and it's really funny to see how like all of the different, like everything is X'd out because I got everything wrong. Always freaky as a streamer that you can go back to an older video reviews and see how much different your voice or opinions. Yeah, well, and also just to remind you guys, so this is the footage in the background is an earlier stream that I did, and then I did a voiceover to footage from the stream, and none of it is scripted. This is before I started making scripted videos. So it's just me rambling.
Points or anything like that, but you know, I think I called the weapon there, which was super surprising. On the minstrel, I had the warhorn, which of course that wasn't correct. And then same for utilities on either of them. I didn't have the, you know, they're creating a new kind of utilities, and I try to on a lot of my elite specializations reuse older utility skills that we haven't seen in a while, or on that class or whatever, and they didn't really do that too much in this set, so I was wrong on that. And then of course the traits don't really, just based off of what the theme and the mechanics were, the traits of course were off. But yeah, the virtuoso, so let's talk about it. Now, what did I like? Let's talk about what I liked first. So I think I really enjoyed the flashiness of it. I think the skills look really cool.
The flashiness is really good of the virtuoso,
like that kind of stuff. I really love the utility skills. I think it looks really cool. One thing that I really like as well is that it's not dependent on illusions, which I love. I always had an issue with the mesmers, like you have to summon up your illusions and then you have to like shatter them, or you have to wait for them to attack, even if you're calling like phantasms and stuff. And in terms of like bursting, it's always kind of lacked, right? In like the PvE content, people run through stuff so fast. If you're in groups and stuff, everything dies so quickly and you're kind of always lagging behind because you're dependent on that. And I love that we get to keep our like blades even in between the different battles and stuff. So I think that is really great. I love the pure damage. I love the long range based on that, because we only really for long range on just pure damage, not condi damage, is the greatsword, and I'm personally not a fan of greatsword just as a weapon, not specifically for the mesmer. I know they wield it a little bit differently, but
I kind of skip ahead a little bit.
Fit. And I think maybe my theory is that they had multiple people working on these elite specializations, because the name is something that's like sound based or like music based, being a virtuoso, but there's nothing that's sound or even music based in the spec, which is really just strange. There's no like connection.
That point still stands. Virtuoso as a name and having blade songs makes no sense.
Between
But
the two, the only thing that you have that
I ended up liking Virtuoso more than I thought I would. Still enjoy Chrono. Yeah, I do like Mirage still the most, I will say, but I think Virtuoso is pretty good. I like Virtuoso. Troubadour is my style. Really feels good as a mesmer main. I don't know how to describe it. It just fits like a glove. Just wish Spear was Condi.
has something to do with music is the F abilities are called blade songs, but they're not actual like songs, you know? So I think they could have maybe named it like the Blade Dancer, but then I understand that maybe they would have gotten a little bit of like a confusion there with the Blade Sworn, which is going to be the warrior elite specialization. So maybe that was the reason they didn't want to do that, and maybe they didn't want to do it because that's something that's been used in like the fantasy setting too much, and ArenaNet always likes to like step outside of that, so they tried to come up with something too straightforward. I do like that it's a pure damage based spec, but then you look at the traits and like nothing gives you boons and nothing does anything special, and even the condition line kind of feels lackluster. Like, yes, they want to give us an option. Next up is the Harbinger, which was the Necromancer elite specialization. Now, I've seen a ton of jokes already, and I feel like it's going to become a meme. It's going to be the Harbinger. I even said that on stream, like people kept on calling it Harbinger or Habbringer, so really funny. But I just think that's going to become like a thing later on. But
really? Why did I think that was going to be a thing? Habbringer? I don't remember that being a thing, but I mean, I'm really using Sphere because the amount of Connie damage does with the shatters is enough. I don't know how well that would perform. I don't think that would be very good.
So let's compare it to the two that I had. So I had the Vampire, which I came up by myself, and then I had the Judge, which was pretty much based off of community feedback and stuff. So
those are the two that I came up with. So I had the Vampire and the Judge. I still love the idea of Judge, though. It was a hammer-wielded Necro that was like based off of, at the time, the feedback that I got from all the people talking about like what elite specializations they wanted to see. It's so weird going back and like thinking back of these old elite specializations that I came up with.
The Judge, which was pretty much based off of communication and damage, and they have done that with the Harbinger. I really enjoy that. I really think that's really cool that they have done that. I'm a huge advocate of having very distinct condition lines.
I was like fading out of existence. I was using my green screen, but then I had issues with the green screen, and then I changed to a blue screen, and then I just gave up. And I was like, I'm done, because it was such an annoying always having to put up the screen. I could, the way that my room is, I can't just have the screen sitting there all the time, and I think it looks really stupid. So eventually I gave up on having a
on
blue
what
screen or
was
a green
sort of
screen.
PvP, so I might just be completely off here, but it just feels like it's gonna be something that's
But as you guys, so the main thing that we kind of are trying to tackle here is, right, is did these change too much? This is beta footage, right? So as you guys are watching the footage, does it look like these changed? Because they don't really look like they changed to me. Like as we watch some of the virtuoso stuff, even the traits, the art, like any of that, none of that changed. Harbinger
gonna
or
be good.
yeah, Harbinger is the same.
So
Nothing really
then
changed
going
here,
on to the
right?
dislikes.
Because the shroud is still the same, the animations are the same, the blight is still the same.
So-
Obviously, numbers always change. We've been having balance, things like that always changes. But we're talking about animations. We're talking about icons. We're talking about like did they move stuff around? For now, I don't really see any changes so far.
I talked about the theme, and to me, the theme doesn't really fit, and it kind of goes back to maybe they had too many people working on them, because it seems like one person came up with the utility skills, one person came up with the main hand weapon, another person came up with the mechanic, and then another person came up with the like name, because none of it really fits together. Like the Harbinger name doesn't really have anything to do with being an alchemist, and it has nothing to do with wielding a pistol, right? It's just kind of like doesn't.
Okay, so I apparently had the same issue with Harbinger that I have with Antiquary. To be honest, Mesmer already has the biggest variety in Condi builds. Well, you need to understand, Mish King wants everything to be conditioned all the time. This is becoming a joke. Okay, I'm sorry, Mish. I have to. But, so anything and everything that gets added into the game needs to be conditions all the time. No, I get it, though. I mean, the thing is, I kind of understand that when a new weapon gets added, that I wish they would find a way to have it be able to do different things too, right? Like, I completely get it. Where, like, for example, when I look at the warrior, just to give like a very, just to give like just a very basic example for just to give you guys an example, like when I go on the warrior and I really want to make like a sword and shield warrior, which obviously shield sucks, right? So it needs balance there. But then sword is Condi. Like, yes, you can make a power damage, but let's be real, it's mostly Condi. It's about bleed and stuff, right? Like, so it kind of sucks because it's like if I'm just trying to do power damage warrior, I can't take a sworded shield like I can take in any other game. I would have to take a hammer, or I have to take, blah 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 axe or whatever, right? Like I would take something else, and that kind of sucks to me. So I kind of understand where that's coming from. Numbers are fluid. They are. Numbers are they can always be changed. Your 55 Condi damage evoker build will be nuked by the release of Visions of Eternity. I swear to you right now that's gonna happen. That is not gonna be the number that evoker will have when it comes out, okay? If that doesn't happen, you can all cancel me. Unsubscribe. Mish Condi King. Just replace Captain Kirk yelling. Okay, I don't. That is too obscure of a reference for me to get. Okay.
Really fit, which is fine. That's not huge or whatever. But then you look at like the alchemist part. You only get the elixirs, and yes, the elixirs were very lazy and very uninspired the way they were, and even the art was very like blah, to the point where I only used the elite one because that was the only.
So I had an issue with the elixirs at the time because I found them very boring art-wise because they were just copy and pasted with just different colors on them, and I kind of hated that. I thought it was very lazy at the time. I'm okay on Harbinger nowadays. I think they've kind of improved Harbinger over the years, where they made it more interesting. But back then, I just
really
kind of
worth
hated it.
using anyways. But that's the only thing you see of
How do you not get Khan reference? Lame. So, I've never been like, Star Wars versus Star Trek. Like, I've never been like, oh my god, I like one or the other. But I've always been more of a Star Wars person. Like, yes, I've watched plenty of Star Trek. I used to watch it a lot with my mom back in the day, but I've never really gotten like into it to the point where like I paid it. guys, my memory sucks. I can't even remember what I had like for lunch yesterday. Okay, like it sucks. Okay, I can't remember anything. So my brain is like not important, and it like leaves my body and goes into the ether of the world. Okay, and so this shit happens all the time. I used your link to buy Visions of Eternity. I think you meant VOE, right? Visions of Eternity. By the way, you were offline. I had to think of how to get it through for you. So I had to go on old stream, go description. Oh, really? Well, thank you, Scott. I appreciate that so much. That means a lot. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For anyone, like, I can actually track, like, how many people use my link and stuff like that. So I always see when people use my link, and I really, really, really appreciate it. It means so much to me that you guys, that anyone chooses to use my link. Like, it means so, so much to me. So thank you. I really appreciate that. I didn't like Harbinger at first, but I like it now. Yeah, I kind of had the same thing. I didn't like it at first, but I actually like it. I think it's fine. I don't use it because I think Reaper is just super fun. I love using Reaper. I like the big scythe. I like the shouts. But I kind of like Harbinger. I think Harbinger's fine. But I hate that every single build on Necro uses the same weapons over and over again. Yeah, well, like I said in yesterday's video, mind you, oh, by the way, Scott, so you can always reach me on Discord. So I don't know if you have Discord or not. So you can always use my you can always message me on Discord, or you can join the Discord server and message me there. Whatever you want to do, it doesn't matter. But I usually have my phone on me, meaning that when I'm not at the computer, that I get Discord messages and I answer on there. So just to let, not just for Scott, but for anyone, if you guys ever want to get a hold of me in any shape or form, like I don't mind getting messages, whatever. So I'm usually always available on Discord. So even if I'm at work, I might take like a short break and just answer a message or something. So if you guys ever want to do that, but yeah. But yeah, I the thing is, and I said this in the video yesterday, I think ArenaNet really needs to look at, you know, they like when it comes to the Necro Staff, I've been waiting for a Necro Staff rework forever now. And then all they did is a band-aid fix by just making a trade that you have to take to make that weapon good. I hate that. You know, I think that's really lazy. That's a lazy fix. So I'd rather see other weapons get updated, specifically on like Necro and Engineer. Like I think there's a lot of weapons that specifically Engineer, like Engineer Pistol needs a look, Shield needs a look, like all the shields across the game need to look at, like Warrior Shield sucks, Greatsword and Warrior, like all of these things. I don't want them to add trades to make specific weapons good that are just kind of mediocre. Okay, like I don't want that, you know, so I kind of get that. The art of the elixir's icon has changed? Really? That's not what they look like anymore? Wait a minute. I need to look at that right now. Really? This one has Harbinger. I need to look at that. DM's open. That's what I was saying about the Necro Staff. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, my DMs are always open. Not that I get any DMs, but when I do get DMs, they are open. Harbinger. Really? Oh, are they different? Hold on. Okay, I think you're right. I think they're a little different. I think they're just slightly different. Are they? Maybe not. No, they don't look different to me. Hold on, I gotta see. Let's see the recharge
they don't
of
really
this.
Interact that much with the actual potions that they use, the elixirs that they use. So it's one of those things where I'm like, why did
No,
you
the art looks the same. Does the elite look different? Hold on. I'm looking at it in game right now. I can even show you guys. So like the art looks the same to me. That is with the little plus in the back, and the green is regular. I was using on stream. I was using this. So I think I had the green, the black, the white, and then the orange. And when you look on the video, you can see the green, the black, the yellow, the orange, and they all look like that.
And then you don't do anything.
They look like that. Very slightly. In what way though? I don't see it. Is it the bottle being opened? No, the bottles are open. Stop it. Stop attacking me. Oh my god, I have a Cryptus attack. Leave me alone. Oh my god, it won't leave me the fuck alone. Go away. Yeah, I don't know. They don't look different to me. I don't know. Like when I look at these, they look the same to me, so I don't know what changes they did there. So has some shining spec. I mean, I see these on here though. Like these all have shiny specks on them. There's like a green circle in the back. There's like these specks around this one. This one has a plus behind it. This one has like a white thing there behind it. So I don't know. They look the same to me, but you know. Anyways, I don't think that that's enough of a change to really warrant saying that they looked at these elite specs after the beta. You know what I mean?
The actual alchemist part, because then
I don't. Here, actually, you know what? I can actually make that. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I can actually make the UI bigger. I used to have the UI bigger, I guess. Larger. So we can actually see them now. Like, I don't know. They don't look different at all to me. But yeah, maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, to see if your Discord had it. This is Mortis on Twitch, by the way. Oh, okay. Hi. Welcome. I can never keep track of everyone's name. Because you guys have, like, wildly different names between, like, one platform and another. Like, there's people from, like, Discord that have, like, you know, your mama's a fat hoe. And then they come in and their name is, like, Benjamin, right? On, like, YouTube. And I'm like, I don't know, okay? Like, it's so hard for me to keep track of what everyone's name is. But I thank you nonetheless for using that. That's my 2 cents. Maybe the second half changes baseline and do something else with that trade. I agree with it. I don't disagree at all with that. I agree with that totally. Like, I think that should be baseline and then do something else with it. So, Rita Repulsa. Make my image grow. I know that reference. I've watched plenty of Power Rangers, even in recent years. All right, I went back and watched it.
you have a pistol, which again doesn't really scream that much. It doesn't interact all those little details and stuff. I'm just not a fan of that personally. So it's not bad. Like I said, I think it could really be
okay. Now we look at the Willbender,
the Avenger, and
so I had the Phalanx was the one that I came up with, which was the like defensive guardian that I came up with.
The other two,
and then I had the, what did I say? What did I call it? Wait, what? What was the other name of it?
And just like the other two, once again, really. Next up is the Willbender, which is the Guardian Elite specialization. So we're comparing this with the Phalanx and the Avenger. And just
oh, the Avenger. That's right. I called it the Avenger. I have the notes right here, you guys. Phalanx and the Avenger. And again, I act X's across the board on getting anything correct on that. I got nothing correct on that. It's really sad.
Just like the other two, once again, really seems like I totally missed the mark on these. Theme-wise, interestingly, the Phalanx...
like Will Smith gets bent. Oh my god.
And the Avenger were pretty...
I try to be Mish everywhere. I tried to be a Raleigh everywhere, you know? I mean, as you guys can see, my old streams had my Discord up there, my Twitter, and my YouTube name. Oh, you guys can not really see it because it's like cut off. It's actually cut off. Like this tiny little black bar that you guys see there actually has my names from these different things on there.
There was like a distinct thing where I had the Phalanx be this defensive thing. There was a lot of Aegis play that I wanted to do because I love like Aegis, and I think there's a lot
you guys can see it this way.
So that's kind of what I based it off of. So the Phalanx theme-wise, not really. The Avenger, I'm giving myself a point because the theme of the Avenger was supposed to be this close range, up in your face, kind of like just really brutal attacker kind of thing.
Okay, again, we're looking at animations, we're looking at traits, we're looking at what significant changes they did. Again, the footage in the background, it's not really about the audio, it's not about the garbage that is coming out of my mouth 3 years ago, but it's about, did the animations, did the icons change, did the mechanics change, did the, like, That the traits changed, that the utility skills changed. Like, what are the changes, right? Do you guys see any significant changes? Because the question right now is that we have is how much did ArenaNet change from the beta of End of Dragons to the release of End of Dragons? And like, you know, is this, you know, were there a lot of changes or not, right? I don't see any changes. I don't play Worldbender, I'm gonna be honest, but it looks like icon-wise to me, they look all the same. I don't know trade-wise. I kind of was
they
like,
kind of have taken the spirit of like Almora and stuff like that, and really went ham with it and made this like close range, really aggressive attacker. So I'm giving myself a point there. Again, mechanics, the phalanx, you know, dealing with Aegis. I did defensive stuff and didn't really go with any of that stuff. With the Avenger,
Apparently I
I
can't
had
drink.
the F abilities triggered twice. That didn't happen because they did something completely different.
oh, I have the F abilities triggered twice. Why did I have that? Oh my god. Those, I tell you what, you guys, those videos from so long ago, my very first videos on the channels, I had some great ideas on these elite specializations, and none of them, I tell you, none of them were put into the game. I have X's across the board on all of this. I had the Ritualist or the Envoy, which was the Revenant. I gave the Ritualist Envoy, or I gave the Revenant, Ritualist, or Envoy. I gave the Elementalist, I gave it Sorcerer or Gunslinger. I gave the Warrior Commander or Monk. I gave the Ranger a Tamer or a Warden. Like, of all these cool ideas, you guys, I don't even know. Looks the same to me. Like I said, I swear, me and my best friend talked about it at length when End of Dragons launch. Feels like Arena ignored our feedback. Saw a lot of in the community. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we can see it right here, right now. You know, so I agree with you right now.
And then I had the offhand. I like about it though. Either I really
scroll over this. They shortened some of these descriptions, right? Like, I'm pretty sure they shortened some of these descriptions and stuff. But I think mechanic wise, they still do. If no attacks are reversed, like, I think that is still the same, right?
Any of the history of Kantha, you can't ever find that. We know that probably Shiro was supposed to be a willbender, or before he was killed, he was a willbender. Walks you into plays in a lot of places and stuff like that. So, and then at the same time, the offhand sword attacks felt very underwhelming. They were away from having a lot of AoEs because the Firebrand was all about AoEs, so they're kind of trying to do the opposite of that. But then you make these AoE abilities, but make them really small because you don't want to base it off of having AoEs. But we're talking about PvP, and if you have tiny little AoEs, anyone can walk out of them. So what's really the point of that? They could have, at that point, changed the F abilities.
I don't know what I'm talking about, but anyways, it doesn't look any different. So let's move on to Vindicator.
The Ritualist, I tried to do like this.
So I had the Ritualist
twist on a Ritualist spec, and then with the community,
I don't even remember.
Came up with the Envoy, and theme-wise, of course, neither of them really happened. And
I want so far nothing drastic. Yeah, nothing drastic so far. I kind of want to go back and watch some of those old videos and really see what the concepts were that I came up with. Like, how did I make a Ritualist work on the Revenant?
The mechanic as well didn't really happen, and the weapon on the Ritualist didn't happen, but on the Envoy I did say it was either going to be dagger or greatsword. So we did get a greatsword, and it's not a long-range greatsword. So I'm still giving myself a point, but I would have loved to have seen a long-range greatsword on that, honestly. And then utilities I didn't get right, and then on the traits I will say once again I wanted to really have distinct lines where it goes into like healing, dealing damage.
So they changed this a little bit, right? Because they gave you the ability. Didn't they give you like another? Isn't there another button that they give you on Vindicator? Am I wrong on that? Am I misremembering this? I don't play Revenant a lot, so I don't know. But didn't they change that?
Like condition or whatever, or like really liking the classes that have different changes to the dodge mechanic, because the dodge mechanic is something that's very basic for Guild Wars 2. Someone that has
It makes more sense just put the spirits on utilities since refs are forced to use one heal, 3 utility, and 1 in late.
Played Guild Wars 2 for a long time, like you use dodging all the time. So changing that up really just seems to change the class at its core in a little bit without changing too much of it. You know, it just gives it some extra
Jesus, why is this footage so bad? Give me some better footage, please. Jesus.
flavor, and that's really nice, and especially this type of dodge where you just jump way up into the air and
crappy
kind
as
of
in video.
disappear is really cool, and I really love that new mechanic. And strong.
So
I don't know
bad.
if it can compare to how the Renegade does.
They added another. Yeah, isn't it where you get like
On the legends, having 2 legends
where you get
at
like
the same
energy
time
or
where your
something, or
skills,
like
once you use them flip over,
endurance or
seems
something?
very clunky to me. It seems like in the theoretical
They changed
sense,
the dodge too, didn't they?
it doesn't seem that bad of an idea where you kind of like, oh yeah, I'm doing damage here, and then it flips over and I'm doing a healing thing now, like a more defensive thing, or like, you know, I engage and then it flips over and then I disengage with that new ability. Like the idea is great, but I just feel like in the heat of battle, making sure that
Oh yeah, and you could like mix and match the abilities. Do you guys remember that? So Vindicator has seen some serious changes because the dodge has changed, and then do you guys remember how they were like flip over skills? Do you guys remember that where they like would flip over to the other version? That was like a thing, right? Vindicator not having a good alacrity build DPS build is weird. It could keep damage. Yeah, now you can. No, no, well, you flip between the way that it was set up originally was if you use the ability, it would flip over to the other ability, but you could flip over your whole bar by pressing the F2 ability. So it was really weird the way that it had set up, and I actually like the way they changed it because I totally forgot that it had you that they were like flip over skills, but you could flip over the whole bar or something. We're gonna have to like watch that a little bit as I'm doing that.
I just want to deal damage and I don't want to use Saint Victor abilities pretty much. Then I have to make sure that once I use all of my Arkamora skills, that I use my F2, and only then do I use my F2 in order to, once they're all flipped over to the Saint Victor skills, that I can get back to the Arkamora skills.
Yeah, they were really the flip over completely. So the only way that you can flip over is by pressing your F2 and you swap to the other bar. You can swap between the 2 bars, but back then you could kind of almost like mix and match as you press the buttons. They would flip over by themselves, each skill. So that's why I have like 2 of the Arkamora skills and then 3 of the Saint Victor skills.
And that seems a little bit clunky because in the heat of battle, people don't necessarily want to use all the skills or whatever, and then when you flip over, then you don't maybe have the skills that you wanted, and you kind of, I don't know, it seems like there's going to be some problems with that, and I think it goes into another problem where it kind of loses identity, because like I said, if you
I kind of watch it as I do the combat there a little bit. You can kind of see it.
Using Saint Victor skills because they don't do that much damage and they're just pretty much support. So it's just kind of like
so energy melt they added in. Like I wonder if I can actually get some combat.
The staff on that class, but the greatsword wasn't bad at all.
But yeah, so you can, if you watch the bar, you can see them flip
the spec
over.
Overall has great potential if they tweak certain things. I think there's like a potential to be really strong. I don't know if it can compare to how the Renegade does.
God.
My dislikes, though, on the other hand, is the actual flip over on the legends. Having 2 legends at the same time. Where
see, so they would flip over to the other abilities.
It seems like, in a theoretical sense, it doesn't seem that bad of an idea, where you kind of like,
and then you can press your F2 to flip them over to all. It's so weird. It's so weird. I hate it. I hate it, and I'm so glad they changed it. As the owner has seen significant changes. Yeah, those. And then the dodge, right? There was only 1 dodge, but the dodge was so powerful. Oh my god, the dodge was so strong. I can't believe I haven't used it at all in the footage here.
Really, I find myself really liking the classes that have... I wanted to really have distinct lines where it goes into like...
I wonder if I use the dodge at all.
We really did that where, again, the spec is kind of split in half, where it's like half damage, half healing kind of thing. So they have these traits that really point there. Let's talk about the... It's something that's very basic for Guild Wars 2. is really cool, and I think those
I didn't use it.
hero
Oh, there
changes
I
to
did use it.
have different
I
changes
wonder how
to
much
the
damage
dodge
it
mechanic,
does.
because the dodge mechanic is something that's very basic for Guild Wars 2. Someone that has played Guild Wars 2 for a long
Never
time, like
seen
you use dodging all the
a
time.
Revenant
so
healer.
changing
I
that
just think
up
it's
really
very.
just seems to change
I don't
the
know.
class.
I've
at
tried
its
it before,
core in a
but
little
it's
bit,
not.
without changing too much of it. You know, it just gives it some extra flavor, and that's really nice. And especially this type of dodge where you just jump way up into the air and you kind of disappear is really cool, and I really love that new mechanic. And I love how the spec is lore inspired. I really like that they're looking
That was
at
like no
Arkham
damage
Horrors
at all. That was really bad. There's the Spectre healer as well, besides me. Yeah, those I don't see Spectres in general. Like even in PvE as like Connie builds and stuff, I don't see a lot. Alright, so we've seen some so Vindicator has seen some serious changes because the dodging has changed. They added the energy meld to be not just available on other legends, but always be available. The flip over is in there. So there were some serious changes they did to that. Let's look at Catalyst. Catalyst is the next.
But let's compare it first. So I had the Sorcerer, and then I had the Gunslinger. And once again, it fails on everything: theme, mechanic, weapon, utilities. And once again, I will talk about the traits. And I kind of want to give myself a point, because on the Sorcerer, I had this elemental infusion idea where that kind of plays into making you stronger. They have done that. I think they called it elemental empowerment. So, and it's kind of the same idea as the elemental infusion, which was really the sorcerer's mechanic that I had, but I had traits that interacted with that, which they do have traits that interact with the elemental empowerment. So I kind of had the same idea there, so I'm giving myself a point with that. But then with the
Dude, using that Guild Wars 1 like factions music,
of course that didn't
fuck
really
yeah,
happen.
dude.
So
Good choice,
let's talk about the
Raleigh. Good
catalyst.
choice.
What did I like?
Condi Vindicator build.
Like,
You
well,
enjoy any Vindicator build though. You just like you like Condi builds though. So that, I mean, you know, that makes sense, right?
Loved seeing, first of all, what I loved seeing were the Celestials. Seeing those being used.
Yeah, the
and
Celestials were
seeing the little
great.
models and stuff. Oh, it was so good. I really enjoyed that. I'm a huge fan of the Celestials, and I really think that's a great way to keep them, you know, alive. Even if they're not going to go to them, I don't know. We don't really know where the story's going to go, but I really enjoy seeing Celestials. And then I combos that you can make with it.
Okay, so far I don't see anything like animation wise or like
and it kind of just again rubs me the wrong way. I'm not a huge fan of Hammer as is, but again it kind of spheres up.
I want to see. Oh, they didn't have any art, so the art did change. Did any of these traits like art changes on the traits? I don't know.
Time, so in order to like use your utilities you have to have them up, and then it's just kind of it just kind of
but they didn't change the actual main mechanic because it was about fields summoning the Celestials. They have an energy bar, you summon them once you have energy, you kind of, so that didn't change.
You can barely maintain that, and it just, I don't know, it just seems, just overall the whole elite spec seems very clunky in the way that's been executed. And one last thing that I disliked was the aura based game.
I just want some DPS trade for Paragon. Yeah, so like I said in my video, it'd be nice to see a line that has like power DPS, Condi DPS, and a support line. Like I really think Paragon has space to make that happen. And I don't necessarily like, I'm kind of against the like bleed idea. I would love to see burn, because Paragon applied a ton of burning in the first game. There was elite skills they applied burning. There was a lot of other skills that helped other people apply burn and stuff. And that was like their one thing, right? Because it was like, you know, in the desert and it's hot, kind of like, I think there's a little bit of synergy there, a little bit.
I don't know why they had all these aura trades and
Sir, this slander and calling me out of my love for Condi, I won't stand for it. That's fun. But it's good though that you enjoyed. Like, I don't know how common a Vindicator Condi build is. Like, I feel like I haven't really seen that, right? Because I think Condi is, or I think Vindicator is so about power damage.
When the Tempest is pretty much the spec that's supposed to be about all auras, and the Tempest does the aura.
Yeah. So my problem with catalyst was all the auras and stuff, they still kept all that in.
A lot better.
So they left
really,
all that
than
in there. So I don't think that's any
All right,
different.
next up is the Bladesworn, which was the warrior elite.
Ooh, the Bladesworn, you guys.
Now, let's compare it. Again, I kind of missed the mark on a lot of these. We had the commander and the monk. Theme-wise, the commander was supposed to be the embodiment of what the commander really is, and it's supposed to be this person that like commands these different forces and stuff like that. And then
yeah, so I had the commander, I remember I had the commander where I had all these different F abilities, which is actually pretty close, not pretty close, but in concept, kind of like what the Paragon does now, where you summoned like these troops to the field with your F abilities, depending on like, you know, you would use your adrenaline instead of using burst abilities, you would summon troops to the field, and you would have like F1 for like damage dealing troops, F2 for like healing troops, F3 for like CC troops or something like that, right? And you would summon like these different troops to the field to help you out. It was kind of, that was the idea, because you're a commander, so you command these forces to do things. Have you ever seen a Condi Vindicator or Herald? I have not seen those. Current main builds I'm playing are Power and will be Power. Oh really? I only see Condi Renegades. Condi Renegades works, right? Yeah, it's not great, but it's still it's silly because it actually works. Evade, to do, chill, and torment. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I can see that. Maybe the energy bar now is on the bottom of the F5 icon. Oh, you're correct. They did move the, yes, you're actually correct. They did move the energy to be on the bottom, which is sad because a lot of people complained at the time. I still think that I hate it. I still hate the idea of having the energy bar. They should have something. Who messaged me? Who's I saw your message. I was like, what's happening in Discord? Yeah, it's still clunky, I think. It's still really clunky the way
this close range healer, the staff and stuff. So neither of those happen, and it's
so I had the monk. Yeah, so the commander was that, and then the monk was supposed to be I don't know why I said close range, because I think I actually built it around being a long range for the most part, but it was supposed to be a healer with a staff. So it's kind of weird that some of these ideas that I had all these years ago actually did make it into the game slowly, right? Like slowly over the years in different ways they've come into the game, because we do have the heal staff now, so that kind of works. It's kind of funny. Have a good night. Thank you.
X's for me across the board. It's the theme-wise it didn't fit, mechanics didn't, weapons. I had the commander had the short bow and the monk had the staff. I was wrong on that. Utilities wrong, and even traits wrong. So everything pretty much X's. Theme, like everything was completely different. This old movie. Bladesworn is bad. I actually enjoyed the Bladesworn over.
I did enjoy the Bladesworn. Bladesworn was really, really powerful. The Dragon Trigger was really powerful early on.
I enjoy the way that the Bladesworn works. It looks really cool. It works really well, and it's like this engineer through the eyes of a warrior. You know, that's really what it feels like to me, and I really enjoy that. I think it's really cool. Now, what I disliked was some of the F abilities seemed a bit clunky. They seemed kind of strange, and standing in one place, it's not being able to move kind of thing was just, I know we have a teleport and stuff, but even with that it was just kind of like
Yeah, Dragon Trigger, I still have that issue with it, but nothing changed. Again, this all looks pretty much the same. I know Flow changed. Flow has a different icon, but again, that's nothing significant, right? Like moving the energy bar from the top of the icon to the bottom of the icon and changing what Flow looks like doesn't really, you know, it's not really major changes. The abilities all look the same. The animations are all pretty much the same. I know that they changed the way that the Bladesworn shoots. Like you always have a long range ability on there as well, because you know, that's just how it works. But yeah,
next up is the Untamed, which was the Ranger Elite specialization, and oh boy. All right, before we like and dislike, let's compare. So I had the Tamer and I had the Warden. Now with the Tamer, the theme was supposed to be 2 animals, 2 pets kind of thing. Obviously that didn't happen. That was kind of the theme and the mechanics, so that didn't really happen. It was supposed to be this like person that just got really
Please, the spear, which kind of activates Condi Vindicator even more, basically become a corrupted dragoon. Oh yeah, that's kind of cool. I
Really
like
good
that.
with their
Yeah,
pets.
that's
It's
kind of
like
cool.
this Beast Mastery Plus thing, and it didn't happen. But then with the Warden, I'm giving myself a little bit props because the Warden was supposed to have two themes. It was supposed to be this like weather shaman thing, kind of, and then the other part was supposed to be like empowering your pet, which that actually did happen. I talked about how like these vines were supposed to come all over your pet because you're making it stronger, and that literally happened. They're giving them these like this aura that you get around yourself and your pet, whichever one is unleashed, and just gets this like, it almost looks like vines all over the body. So I'm kind of giving myself props there because I feel like I got that like
Yeah, so that was the concept that I got correct, but
almost on point there. So for that part of the elite specialization anyways, the mechanic though as well.
so they did change what the pet
Idea
does
of
when it's
being
unleashed, right? Because you can actually auto cast all these abilities now,
untamed and
but the abilities
unleashing
themselves didn't change. I mean, this is all the
pet's
same,
power and your own
right?
power.
The cantrips are pretty much the
Its
same.
F3 ability whenever I want to. I would love to have control over saying like, you know, we have an auto cast, pretty much like an ability to auto cast abilities. It'd be really cool to have that where I can say, oh, you know, on this pet right here, whenever it's off cooldown, I want that skill to be used. So then you put that on auto
Which they
cast,
add
so as soon
into
as
the
it's
they
off
added that into the game to any of the pet
the weapons
abilities too
beside
for
hammer seems
Mechanus as
not
well.
inspired. Like there's any other reason to use other weapons because you become so weak with it and you don't get any special skills. I really think that every other weapon should have gotten unleashed skills, and I know that maybe that is too much work, but that's kind of what ArenaNet chose to do with this elite specialization. So I feel like that was very lazy, and I feel like they could have definitely done better there. And then again,
So my idea still was Condi Spear Renegade is better, and Condo is gonna be fun as hell. You can autocast the pet's normal abilities, you unleash skills, you still need to press. No, no, you can do the unleashed. I'm pretty sure you can, right? There's no way. Wait a minute. Do I have Is that true? Let me go in here. I can't hold on. I have a random. Let's do this. I have Untamed here. So if I take out my pet, apparently I'm not allowed to have a pet. Oh. You can't autocast these? Wait, well, how do I do this again? Oh my god, you can't? That sucks! That sucks so bad. They didn't change that? What? Oh my god. That is so bad, ArenaNet. What the hell? What the hell is that? Oh my god. I hate that. Anyways, none of the animations changed either.
Work really well with it. You know, you can look and you can see
Spectre.
So let's compare it first. We had the Shadowmancer and the Shadow Knight. Interestingly enough, the Shadowmancer actually, out of all the different speculations,
so Shadow Knight was very interesting because that was, I think the Shadow Knight was a spear. So, and I think this Shadow Knight was like a spear. I don't have the actual. I don't know. Yeah, it's really stupid.
that I had hit most of the marks. So theme wise, it's supposed to be the Shadow Mage, and that's exactly what we got with the Spectre. So the theme there worked. Shadow Knight was supposed to be this like defensive samurai, like up in your face kind of thing with like dark magic kind of mixed in there, and that didn't really happen. So mechanic wise though, on the Shadowmancer, we didn't really get what I wanted. I wanted to have Shadow Form, which was this like elite skill from Guild Wars 1 that did like a lot of different things, and we got the Shroud, mode, but I'm not giving myself a point for that because it wasn't really what I wanted to go for. So, and then on the Shadow Knight, again, that didn't really happen either. Now, on the weapon for the Shadowmancer, I did say, I believe it was either Trident and Scepter. So we did get the Scepter. So I'm giving myself a point there. And then Shadow Knight was supposed to be Greatsword, and that didn't happen. And then utility skills, I actually set for the
Shadow Knight was supposed to be a greatsword. I remember that. Yes, there was someone in the community that actually we had talked about. I remember there was a stream that I did doing a faction stream. I was playing through factions, and it was one of the old people. Was it Danny? Might have been Danny, one of the old like big supporters way back when of the channel that was always there. And he actually, Danny and I still chat on and off. Just so you guys know, Danny is actually working on a project right now, which I'm super excited about. I've talked about it before. And I hope I get to share that with you guys once it's finished. I don't know how much progress he's made some progress. I mean, anytime he gives me like a progress update on like stuff that he does, he's doing a really good job with it. But he's coming up with like a Guild Wars 2 trading card game, like a virtual trading card game. And he's coming up with all these like really cool like effects and ideas and all these different things, and he's doing a really good job with it. And he'll like once every few months I'll get a message from him and be like, hey, you know, what do you think about this or whatever, right? And he always send me, and it's super cool, and I'm very happy to see all the progress that he makes. There was a point where like he didn't update me for like a whole year, and I was like, man, I wonder if he's still working on that. And then he actually recently, I want to say it was like a few months ago now, he had a question for me, and we kind of talked about it, and he showed me some more of the cards that he had made, and they look really good. They look really good, and I'm like, man, this is genuinely like a really good looking game. So I hope that I can show you guys that. But I think Danny was the one that came up with the Shadow Knight. Like, we were on stream together and we were kind of talking about, man, it would be so cool to have like a thief with a greatsword and like use like defensive shadow magic type of thing and stuff. Like, I don't know, it's kind of cool.
I'm like, wow, great, awesome. We got a Torment Condi based stuff. So I hate that because I think
I've always wanted something that's poison based, and they once again went with Torment on the Spectre, and I hated that. I remember I hated that so much. I still hate that.
Around, and I think that maybe having a spec that deals with a different condition, and I talk
so
about
none of the animations are different. The wells are the same for the icons.
Great. So not having that.
The shroud is still pretty much the same. Yes, they've changed some of the abilities here and there. They changed like the initiative thing, and they've changed like some of the shroud abilities and what some of these scepter.
The theme overall is everything I've ever
trying to get my ranger to 60.
wanted. A shadow mage like that is something that I've
Isn't it the one that had a bit of an interaction with Anet? Like they gave him their blessing or something? I don't remember that. Did they give him the blessing on the game? I don't remember that. Let me see if I can look at. There he is. Our talk, like this is stuff. Like I'm seeing the cards that he's making. He showed me a bunch of ranger cards. I'm one of the cards too. I see all the ranger cards. He made a sky scale card, a King Adelburn, and it's so cool. Because he uses all of this like in-game footage, but like all the icons as well, and he uses the icons in like a really cool way. It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, so the last time we had like really recently we had a conversation. I want to say, when was this last conversation? So this happened recently. This was in July. We had a conversation. He had a question for me, and then before that it was actually a year ago. And then before that, it was like 3 months before that, and that's kind of where he was. But I don't remember him getting like the blessing from ArenaNet. I mean, honestly, like I would love to. Oh my god, he had all these explanations for all this stuff. I would love to put in a word for him for that if you wanted me to. I obviously as a partner I get like a little bit like I have a fast track to talking to people at the far end of things, but
so long.
I don't know.
I really don't like the like necro green. I talk about that a lot. Purple second slash kind of didn't hit the first slash. Then the first slash was just kind of doesn't really work.
So nothing changed on the
Feels
Spectre,
fairly
I don't think.
you can't do damage to
I mean,
enemies,
like I
but
said,
maybe
certain
have it do
skills
something
changed and
where
stuff, but
with
like
the
animation
trait
wise, mechanic wise, like none of the major things that we're talking about, right? Like none of those changed.
working where you
So
theme wise with the pyrotechnic.
okay, so I had the pyrotechnic, which was all about having their own like rocket launcher to like launch fireworks was my idea on the engineer. And then the other one, what was the other one? Oh, the other one was a Golemancr, where you have like minions, where you summon like these little golems that you like use as minions or whatever.
Way not right, because pyrotechnic, of course, based on fireworks and stuff, that didn't happen. But the one with the Golemancr, I'm giving myself a point because I did talk about golems, and I'm giving myself a point for that because we're pretty much using a Jade mech, which is one big golem. So I think we kind of hit the mark there, guys. Now, mechanic-wise, I think even the Golemancr kind of didn't really hit the mark because the problem there is.
Yeah, so again, nothing. The icons didn't change. I don't think the
Golem
animations changed
so,
really on the
traits. I didn't get right on any of them. Machines and stuff. Really cool. I really love that. I think they did a really good job with it. What I disliked about it was the weapon. The weapon feels.
Yeah, the Jade mech was so overpowered
like
early on.
Seems kind of like thrown in there. It doesn't seem like it really fits. And like I said, I think long range weapon, if it is, staff or not or whatever, place when I was going into battle, because I shouldn't be taking the first hits. It should be my pet. But every time I went into battle with the maze and jump in there with the 2 ability, which is really cool, but I just ended up getting attacked and it was kind of like, oh my god, whatever. Really be something that I see. Now, I want to say at the end of this that I really, for both the Untamed and the Mechanist, I really wish that they would look at pet AI. Overall, I think to do pet AI overall kind of thing in a separate video, so you guys can kind of like flip to do this early so they can get this exact same feedback early on so they can change this.
Okay, so that was kind of I mean, there you guys kind of saw, right? I don't think they made any major changes to any of the. There are certain ones, I think Vindicator being the biggest one, where they changed the way that the dodge worked and the way that the energy meld mechanic worked and the way that the flip over skills worked. I think that was the biggest out of all of them, but most of them all stayed the same. They all pretty much stayed the same. The strong, not overpowered. Oh my god, the UI being this big is like driving me crazy. Yeah, so I don't think with End of Dragons, it sounds to me like they didn't make major changes. I don't know. That's what I had in my mind. I remember that the elite specializations were pretty set when we did the beta for it. That's what I remembered in my mind, that they were pretty set. Like I said, I see there's obviously number changes. I mean, that's a given, right? The numbers will always change on all of those weapons and skills and stuff, but specific animations, specific skill icons, specific like, UI elements, like all these things didn't change. And that was always the thing. I think that ArenaNet has never done that, and that's the reason why I remember that is because that was always a big complaint that I always had with ArenaNet, is that they had these quote-unquote beta events, but they weren't really beta because the elite specializations or anything that we tested out were always already done. Like there was always only like minor changes that they would do, and they would never really look at them
Give me
in
energy.
like a very serious way, you know? And I think this time around ArenaNet needs to do that. I think that enough of the elite specializations are in a bad spot or in a spot where they feel half finished, that ArenaNet really needs to look into, okay, we're gonna have to change all of this around. You know what I mean?
Adrenaline
Like
surging.
I think that's where we're at with this set of elite specializations. I really want them to be just beta, like actual beta elite specs, rather than having any of them be finished, because a lot of them need changes. Like, even if it's a small little changes, but they, like, many of them need changes. So that's kind of it's kind of nice to look, like I said, to look at those old videos and see, you know, when I had like 300 subscribers on the channel. I mean, not that I'm that far away from that. I'm only like 2,300. Like, I don't have a lot of subscribers on my channel. In the grand scheme of subscribers, I don't really have a lot of them. And that's okay. I'm not complaining. But yeah, for those of you that are interested, I did update the merch store even more today. I've added stickers in there. I've added like a couple of stickers. I might add like some more later on. I'll like put a bunch of the icons and stuff, the emojis and stuff as stickers probably in there. But I added some new bottle designs and stuff today. Nice look back at younger while it was only 3 years, you guys. It was only 3 years. But yes, have a good night. Have a good night, Mish. Ooh, I need to look, while I'm thinking of it, I need to look at weather tomorrow. I need to look at the weather tomorrow. It's gonna rain. It's gonna rain. Just in the middle of the night. In the middle of the night, it's gonna rain, but that's perfect. I'm very skeptical now to see that the End of Dragons beta specs didn't change as much compared to the release specs. Well, the thing is, though, I'm gonna be honest with you. That, and that's kind of where I'm getting at, right? With what I said earlier. With all the old elite specializations, the betas, they kind of just called them betas, but I don't think that ArenaNet ever went into them. It was almost like, it was more like play testing than actual betas. Like, where it was just like, oh, these are like completely done. We just want to see you guys play around with them and see if there's anything like really major that breaks the game. But with this set, it really feels like they're actually beta designed elite specs that are still in beta. You know what I mean? Like, and I really think that they have never reiterated that so many times as Cal did on specifically the stream that he did with Sneb and Teapot, where he said, you know, these are in beta. I just want to let you guys, these are still in beta. They have never done that before. They've never said, like, these are in beta, these are in beta. They just called it beta testing, but it was never, like, beta events and stuff like that. But they were never really, like, they are now reiterating that these are truly in beta. So I have a feeling that they are prepared to change a ton of make a ton of changes to them. And they've never had that before. That's what I'm hoping, at least, you know? I have faith this time around because they have changed how they do things since End of Dragons, and I agree with that as well. I think we're in a new era of what Guild Wars is at, and ArenaNet is at specifically. Even I tell you guys, even from what I understand, being in the partner program, from what I understand, the partner program right before I was added to it saw a huge amount of changes. They changed a lot of stuff around. Okay, like apparently there was like different management, there was like all these different things going on with it. Obviously I can't go into details, I don't know many details myself, but even it looks like even internally it looks like ArenaNet has gone through a lot of changes very recently too. So that gives me hope that these changes were for the better, that they have figured out, that they have placed new management and roles in these roles to take over some of this stuff, including how they're designing the elite specs. ArenaNet has never been about listening to the community and listening to the player base, but with this expansion, that's what they're looking like they're doing. It looks like that's what they're doing. They're looking to listen to the player base as much as they can. Okay, they've never done that before. So my hope is that this time around, things are going to be a little different. I'm really hoping that this time around, things are going to be just a little different for the way that things will release, So we'll have to see. I mean, I'm going to try to stay hopeful. My thing is, what I would like ArenaNet to do more, and that's been a complaint that I've had for a long time, they've gotten better with it. I talk about it during all the blog posts that they do, the studio updates and stuff that ArenaNet does. They talk about how they learned lessons, right? And I always make that joke. It's like, oh, they learned lessons, but we never know what lessons these are. There are always some lessons that they learned. This time around, they had a blog post and a studio update, and they actually outlined what they wanted, what changes they had made, with the release cadence and with the things that they want to release and blah, 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 right? Where they're like, well, the first quarterly update won't see a new map because we want to update some systems and da-da-da-da-da-da-da, whatever, right? So seeing some changes in the way that they release these or whatever, and actually giving us proper insight into what it is that they've learned, right? My thing is, what I would like ArenaNet to do is, now at the end of the beta, of the beta event, actually sit down, right? They could still do this. They could come up with this sometime this week or next week or whatever, right? And really sit down and say, okay, what is the biggest feedback that we got on each elite spec? And kind of tell us that, right? Kind of say, okay, well, the biggest changes that people have been wanting to see on this spec is this. So that's what we're going to work towards, right? And not give us like very specific things, but give us an outline of the feedback that you've received and that you're listening to, and that you think that you are capable of. Like, are they capable of completely changing what the luminary shroud does? Because right now it feels like crap, right? You know what I mean? To put it in, again, simple terms. But I would like ArenaNet to kind of outline, okay, well, we've listened to this and we've listened to that, and this is what we want to do, and this is what we're going to change, right? And just kind of give us an outline where they say, well, Luminary, the biggest feedback that we got is that people weren't okay with the shroud and the way that the shroud works, so we're now looking into maybe changing what the abilities on the shroud do, and just kind of give us an outline of that, right? And like, and say, well, with Amalgam, the feedback that we got is that most people enjoyed it, but we just need to adjust some numbers. So you guys won't see as many changes on the Amalgam, and it's going to be pretty close to what the end result is going to be like, because the reception was so good on it, and people seem to like it. We just have to adjust some numbers, right? Like, give us a little bit of an outline of what the feedback is that you're looking at, I'm not going to lie, I'm entering my Doomer era with Guild Wars 2. I know things are probably not going to be as bad as Champions again, but I missed a time when everything was on the table and they were daring. But the problem is that has bitten ArenaNet in the ass one too many times, right? Like, I think that is something that ArenaNet has learned they can't always do, because of something like Champions and End of Dragons, and the way that the end of Dragons was. Oh god. Oh. I just want the experience points, man. Don't kill me, please. I don't know why I took on 3 at once. I need to realize that. The problem is with being daring in the MMO space and in the space that is Guild Wars 2, which is you know, it's not a subscription MMO, so there's not like money always coming in. So when ArenaNet fucks up and people don't play it, people aren't spending money on it, right? So, and it's already easy to drop Guild Wars 2 for other games because of the way that it's designed. So there's no gear treadmill and stuff like that. People don't have to log in. They can log out for a whole year and then come back and just still enjoy the new expansion, right? But in that whole year, they're not buying gem store skins. They're not buying things. They're not spending money, time, whatever in the game or talking to other people about the game, maybe getting them into it, right? So ArenaNet, I think, has realized that being daring and having everything on the table at all times is probably not a good idea. Because it's I think it alienates the player base a little bit more, because in so many ways that has worked out a lot for them, but in many ways it's kind of bit them in the ass as well, you know? So now it feels like when someone has a big idea for a system iteration, it's almost immediately shut down by the community because it seemed too much work or too costly for ArenaNet now. Okay, so what do you mean by big idea for a system iteration? Like, meaning like adding a new system to the game, or do you mean like revamping an old system or something? Because that seems to be something that ArenaNet is looking into, right? Like, looking for group tool is gonna happen with Visions of Eternity, right? And I'm hoping that there's some like matchmaking or something involved in some shape or form with that, you know? That would be kind of cool, I think.
Adrenaline surging.
I just want to give it to be a Temu version of MMOs, but I digress. To give them credit, they're entering the home system. Well, the thing is, I don't think that it's ever going to be the Temu version of MMOs. The thing is that people don't realize in the MMO space how unique Guild Wars 2 is, and how it's found its own niche in the MMO space, right? And I think ArenaNet has done a really good job with the base game, and they've progressed in a lot of different ways with the game. And I think there will always be a space in the world for Guild Wars 2. And the thing is, if people feel like it's the thing is, to me, Temu versions of MMOs are the WoW clones and the Korean MMOs that are pay to win. Like, those are the Temu versions. But I think there's some actual real quality in Guild Wars 2 that you do not find in other games, right? Like, not having a gear treadmill, and not having pay-to-win systems, and having everything be about fashion and about that type of stuff, right? While still giving you challenging content to do, right? Like, we have legendary challenge modes and those types of things still in the game, right? Like, I think ArenaNet really has created a unique experience in the MMO space that doesn't feel like it's any lesser version of another MMO, right? It's its own niche. And I think a lot of people dismiss it for that, because I think most of the MMOs that are popular are the ones that either already have a huge following, like ESO, right? Like, has a huge Elder Scrolls, like people that like Elder Scrolls might be drawn to that automatically. You know, obviously it's not the same as playing an Elder Scrolls game, but it's, you know, people that love the lore and the world of Elder Scrolls can easily find a place in that MMO, right? But then you have games that are like WoW and Final Fantasy XIV that are both like, you know, Final Fantasy XIV was developed way after WoW, but it still leaned on that tap targeting combat, right? And it still has that combat all these years later, right? And it's like it's in many ways it's almost like a WoW clone, but with just like a paint of Final Fantasy on top of it, right? Where there's a lot of things that are very similar, right? In the way that the mounts work, in the way that the combat works, the way that the grouping works, the classes work, like all that stuff, like all feels very similar. There's like the basis is very similar. But Guild Wars 2 has always stepped outside of that, right? And I think Guild Wars 2 is so unique in that way And many people don't realize that, and they dismiss it for that. You know, we see these posts all the time where people start Guild Wars 2 and they're just like, oh my god, how have I never tried this game before? So many posts every day that I see on Reddit where people are saying that exact same thing, where they're like, oh my god, how has no one talked about Guild Wars 2? Like, why are not more people talking about this, right? So I'm not really a doomer when it comes to that. Like, yes, obviously Guild Wars 2 will eventually come to an end, but I think ArenaNet has solidified themselves as a company that can, in a space that, you know, at the time when Guild Wars 2 was coming out, the MMO space was flooded with new MMOs coming out all the time. Many of them were WoW clones, but if you guys remember, right around that same time, the Old Republic came out, and I remember the Old Republic had huge coverage, right? Star Wars, like a new Star Wars MMO was coming out, such a huge coverage. I remember the streams that I would watch about that game, right? And Guild Wars 2 beat that out, right? Like, with the huge IP that Star Wars is, right? Like, I think they've really solidified themselves as a company that can survive even in the most competitive space of gaming, you know, that the MMOs in the 2010s were, right? Like, we've kind of stepped away from that, and that doesn't really happen all the time anymore. But even if Guild Wars 2 ends, I have hope that NCSoft realizes what an asset ArenaNet is, right? And let them create a Guild Wars 3, you know, before the end of Guild Wars 2, right? And have a new game come out. Because I have the hope that with all the lessons that ArenaNet has learned, I think they've really gotten into this spot now where they're learning all these lessons about the game that they've created, right? Like, I think for many years, one of the complaints, look at that flag. Do you guys see that flag? Oh, this is great. I love this. One of the things that ArenaNet has really done over the last couple of years, I think specifically since End of Dragons and the whole, like, you know, the tunnel thing, and then the Iceroot Saga dilemma, all the firings, all of the Jessica and like when Jessica, what was her last name? I forgot, but the developer, like, she blew up all this. Like, I think they've really started learning the lessons and really realized that they have to learn lessons and they have to move. Oh, you know, they can't always innovate on things all the time. They have to learn the lesson and kind of reinforce the lessons that they have learned and stuff like that. So my hope is that with Guild Wars 3 that they will apply these lessons, and I don't know, I feel very hopeful about Guild Wars 3. I really do. I'm gonna be honest. I think the testament will be seen in the next few expansions, of whether or not I'm right, and I think that will guide my own opinion towards that. Because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, there's been many times where I've considered just dropping Guild Wars and doing different content, like completely doing other content and not even covering Guild Wars 2. But then ArenaNet has always found some kind of way to bring me back in and being like, man,
Fresh sights.
they did it again in some shape or form. They didn't always get it perfect, right? But in some shape or form, they've always, like with End of Dragons, I was very, very upset. I tell you guys, with Gyala Delve and like how the end of Gyala Delve was, I was very like, I hate this. And I can't believe that ArenaNet this is where we're at with Guild Wars 2. Like, I was very, very disappointed, right? Like, we were going on a date. You know, we're going on a date with like random characters in the game. It became a dating sim, and that was half of the instance was being like playing a dating sim. And I was like, this is it? This is what we're doing now? We're completely like just that's it? Like, we're the story content is garbage. The open world content is very little, and then we have like a dating instance. Like, this is all we have. I was very, very disappointed. But then with Seekers of the Obscure, they kind of brought me back in, and I think that I'm gonna stick with it gonna stick it out. Obviously, as a partner, I kind of feel like I have to, but I still think that when again, if I compare Guild Wars to other MMOs, I can't play other MMOs. I still think that Guild Wars 2 provides something very unique compared to other MMOs, and it's actually a really, really good game. I gotta escape out of here because I'm not gonna survive this. I have to run. It's very dangerous for me to do. So. Matchmaking systems, guild improvements, including guild missions, World vs. World shakeups, commander UI improvements. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is, you know, the thing is, all the stuff that you listed are not new things. These are things that exist in game. And mind you, they started with Secrets of the Obscure looking at old systems and revitalizing them, right? What's not to say that with the next expansion after Visions of Eternity, that because the thing that's coming with Visions of Eternity is the looking for group tool, right? Like that's gonna be redone, and I think I have hope that it's gonna come out really, really well. And I'm hoping that there's gonna be some matchmaking in there, some kind of way to like kind of, you know, get into that space, right? You know, what's not to say the next expansion after that is going to be looking at the guild system and maybe adding new guild missions and like tidying up all the guild hall situation and all that stuff, and maybe adding a new guild hall or something like that, right? And like making guild missions more important, or new rewards for guild missions, for guild commendations, and different ways that you can expand your guild hall, or guilds in general, right? Like kind of give you more options to do that, right? Like that could really happen. That could seriously happen. And I like that thought. I like that idea for sure. You know, and that's one of the things. Yeah, so you know, that could be the thing, right? We could see World vs. World. We could see some new maps in World vs. World, right? They've done a lot of changes over the last couple of years to World vs. World. Some for the better, some for the worse, right? But at least seeing something worked on, actively being worked on, means it's not forgotten by ArenaNet. And that's still in there, it's still on the table for them, right? So we could see changes to World vs. World. We can see changes to the UI. We could, you know, all these different things. So they're changing the look of review. If they are, that's honestly the number one most exciting thing. Well, they in the blog post, they said that they are looking, I don't know if they confirmed specifically the looking for group tool, but let me pull it up here. I want to get the exact wording that they used for it. Announcing Visions of Eternity. It was definitely during the oops. Okay. Raids and combat, I think, is where they did it, right? In 2026, raids and strikes will be unified under the same structure, improving access for new players and streamlining rewards. We're also investing in systems that help facilitate group content, which we'll talk about more in the future. 2 new raid encounters, new conversions. So that wasn't the only thing, though. Wasn't there another thing where they... I feel like there was another post that they had where they actually gave more of a... I think it might have been... official page. Was it on the official page, maybe? Was there something here? New elite specialization for each version to unlock. We'll work towards 6 legendaries. Deadly encounters. Along with the first New system updates will make raids easier to access. So they're talking about doing something with matchmaking for raids and strikes or something like that, right? Like something in that shape or form that they're talking about in here. I feel like there was a post somewhere else. Someone else can chime in or something. But I remember them talking about there was more concise wording that they had. Yeah, I don't know. But to me, that's what it sounds like, right? To me, reading that sounds like they're looking to find a way for people to,
Die, two legs.
like, do some kind of, like, playing together kind of thing, right? Whether it's matchmaking or looking at the looking for group tool, but they want to make those more accessible. And I think the way that they are wanting to do that is by looking at the looking for group tool, which has been something that's been requested for a long time. Okay. Ooh, the problem with these Modnir is really how powerful they are. So I'm gonna try to do the sneaky thing here, you guys. So I think it's not officially confirmed, but I would definitely look out for a post in the next couple of weeks where they talk about how they want to do the raid and strike encounters, how they want to unify it, and how that's supposed to even work, right? All right, I can collect these books. The hunters are the worst because they can cripple you and then I die from it. It's really, really bad. No, stop it. That's at least my theory that that's what they're looking at. That they're looking at a different way to have matchmaking or something in the space of who saved this. I'm so dead.
I'm going to enjoy this.
Oh my god.
I'll be ready for you.
So that's how I interpret that. I don't know what else that could mean, right? Like making that more accessible. How would you do that? Right? They're already accessible in like physically accessible. I found your books. Okay. So that helped a little bit. I wonder if I can defeat one of these guys. Come on, get to half health. Do that. Do this. The bleeding is gonna kill you. Ugh. Ooh, it's always scary. Okay, so sages I can't win against. Ooh, the supplies, I can destroy those. That's a good one. Candy corn. They still have that bug from literally 12 years ago. 13 years ago. The candy corn disappears. Oh, great. Defender? What does that mean? What abilities do you have, my friend? Yeah. Ugh. Scary stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, ArenaNet has said that I think was that oh maybe that's where it was. I think it wasn't anything specific with looking for group. I think it was about the before the announcement. Wasn't it before the announcement where they this is the blog post. Let me look. This is where it was. I just remembered. Story fell too short. The lack of new open world. For our next entrance, we're refining the structure to give each Hold on. I just gotta move out of the way. Okay. Focus core updates and long-standing. So this is the first quarterly release after the expansion's launch will not include new story or map content. Instead, we will focus on updates to core systems and long-standing features. This approach gives us the space to revisit foundational elements of the game, improvements that support the long-term health of Guild Wars 2 and reflect the design philosophy outlined in the Building Smarter, Not Bigger section. Okay, so let's look at that section. One of our biggest priorities right now, and likely for years to come, is untangling years of accumulated system complexities. Okay, so they're looking at old systems and untangling the system complexity. Streamlining, that means streamlining overlapping features, reducing technical debt, and reinforcing what makes Guild Wars 2 shine. This complexity doesn't just slow us down behind the scenes, it also makes onboarding harder for new players and returning players. Okay? Over the past 2 expansions, we shifted away from stacking new systems on top of old ones. Instead, we're focusing on sustainable upgrades to the game's foundation. Features like the Wizard's Vault didn't just offer something new, they replaced daily achievements and login rewards with a streamlined modern alternative. Weapon master training and relics were built to expand existing build systems. Homesteads and the decoration system overhaul also improved guild halls. We also updated core mount systems during both expansions, with refinements to the sky scale in Guild Wars 2 Secrets of the Obscure and improvements to the Warclaw in Janthia Wilds. Each change was designed to strengthen features. Support for newly introduced features doesn't end at launch. Since the Homesteads feature debuted, we've continued to expand and refine the system with new decorations and quality of life improvements, including increase to the overall blah 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 blah. These kinds of changes may not always grab headlines, but they make the game easier to understand, easier to maintain, and more enjoyable to play. Just as importantly, they reflect what many of you have asked us to do. Focus less on introducing entirely new systems and more on refining and modernizing what we already have. That's a direction we believe in and one we're proud to continue as we build the next chapter of Guild Wars 2. So pretty much right there. Over the past 2 expansions, we've expanded, introduced new weapon proficiencies, blah, 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 blah. With our new, we're taking next step. Elite specializations are making a return. This time, work together, challenging the challenges. The launch of, over the past years, playing encounters across. Most recently, we returned to our encounter design roots with Kinfall. Complexity, blah blah blah, challenge mode. Looking ahead, we're looking to expand endgame content, including new encounters, complete with challenge and legendary modes. But just as important as adding more is making that content better, more approachable, and more rewarding too. In the first quarterly release of our new expansion, that means unifying raids and strike missions into a more consistent structure, improving onboarding for newer players, reworking parts of the UI, streamlining rewards, and investing in systems that help group content feel easier to step into and more meaningful to stick with. So that's what I was looking for. That's the thing I was looking for. Am I getting attacked? What's the hello? So that is the paragraph I was looking for. Finger Trials, a better group making system would do wonders to the game, and if they also fix inventory flooding and give guilds a purpose, I promise I will buy every single mount skin. So yeah, so right there is this is in one of their very, very recent posts. This was the June blog post that they did. I think, right? This was in June. July. This was in July. They reused the old thing that they had from June. The thing. But this was in July. So they just posted this in July about how they want to instead of adding new systems upon new systems and new systems and new systems and abandoning all of the old systems and kind of letting everything kind of flop everywhere and doing their thing, they're looking at, okay, what do we have in game that we can improve, right? They did the daily login system with the daily rewards, daily say you could do, right? And kind of they made the Wizard's Vault out of it, right? Like that was one of the big things. But it sounds like in this specific space right here, they talk about how they want more people to be able to gain access to strike missions and raids. And by doing that, they're, into a more consistent structure, improving onboarding for newer players, right? So how do you do that, right? There has to be some kind of way that you're improving onboarding for newer players. Reworking parts of the UI, that to me sounds like a rework of the looking for group tool, because that is what you use to find people to raid and strike with, right? Streamlining rewards, meaning that rewards across strikes and raids are going to be all like streamlined, there's probably going to be a part of the looking for group UI maybe that they're gonna add a new UI that's going to be specific for raids and strikes or something, and having like almost like the Wizard's Vault where you can go into and you can have like a reward tab or something, and you can go in and you can spend, you know, whatever you have earned through raids and strikes, something. Investing in systems that help group content feel easier to step into and more meaningful to stick with. So I think that right there is exactly what we're looking for. So I think what you're hoping for, what you think needs to happen in the game, is something that ArenaNet themselves have realized. Look at that army of minions, Jesus. That they have realized themselves, and it looks like they are looking to do exactly that, right? Which is great. I think it's fantastic. I think there's enough systems in the game, and I've said this many times over again, I think there's enough systems in the game for ArenaNet to look into updating those, right? Like I think one of the next ones that they should do, in my opinion, is the guild system. I think for the next expansion, upgrading the guild system and streamlining those rewards, and making actually being in a guild important, outside of just like, oh, who's going to be in my world versus world guild, but actually making it important, like who's in my guild and who's participating in the guild missions and stuff, and maybe getting some new rewards in the guild system, and stuff like that. Making it easier for maybe increase the guild level too. You know, it's been stuck at 69 since the guild guilds were introduced. So, you know, maybe upgrading those, stuff like that. I mean, I'm hopeful. Like I said, I think with that particular post, actually, that particular post that they had actually made me very hopeful in what's to come for the future, where they're like, you know, we're done with like just introducing all these new things. We're just going to be looking at stuff that we already have in game and making those really, really good. Because the Vault was one of the best updates in recent years that, for me personally, where I was like, man, I love that. I love that. I love the Wizard's Vault edition. I knew that was going to happen. I can never get just one of you guys. Ah! Throwing rocks at me. Stop it. It's so mean. Oh, I canceled my own attack, right? That's fantastic. That's gonna work out great. Energy. So I hope that I was able to provide some reassurance. I was like, what did I provide? Reassurance to you in that sense that good things are coming to Guild Wars 2, man. I think good things are happening. Is it like the best game out there? No, I'm sure there's better games out there. There's better MMOs, right? There's companies with billions of dollars behind them that can do way better, bigger things, right? You know, it's showing its age for sure, right? But I think there's some value still to it, you know? Like, I think there's still a lot of value to the game, and even with the new things, because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, like spending $25 on a new expansion and like all the stuff that we're getting with these expansions really isn't that bad. Like, I really think, you know, you don't have to spend anything beside $25 once a year. I don't think that that's bad. I get more hours out of a 25-hour expansion than I get out of an 80-hour game, or $80 game for like my Nintendo Switch. Not enough. Like, I really do. You know, if I look just at the content that I get with the expansions, right? Like, just as like when I look at just the Janthia Wilds content that I've gotten, I think I've gotten a better value out of that $25 than some games that I've paid like anywhere between $60 and $80 for, like many games. Okay, leave me alone, Sage. So that's actually nice to hear. Yeah, it's great, right? Like, I think it's really, that post was really, that was a great post. I made a video reading through the whole thing, and I was very, very hopeful by the end of it, because it was actually made, I think it was the game director Was it the who was it that wrote? I forgot who wrote it, but it was one of the higher ups. It was one of the big guys, right? And it was really like, okay, so this guy who's in charge of the company, or you know, partly in charge of the company, that's his philosophy. Like, that's great, because that's what he's gonna tell his employees, right? His workers to work on, right? Like, that's what they're gonna be working on. And I love that. I think it's really cool. So I'm very excited. Very, very excited for this. I'm still hoping that they will have some kind of like solo challenge thing. With like randomly generated dungeons and stuff. I still love that idea. It's so cool to do. Yeah.
My strength increases!
Imagine a modern matchmaking system, a meaningful community build guild system, no more inventory management, and better achievement UI that guides players to content. That would be perfect. I mean, I think some, like, the matchmaking, I don't know if that's gonna be part of that, right? Like, I'm hoping that there's some kind of making it easier for newer players to onboard into those endgame things. That might be part of that then, right? Like, if I read into it, that's what it sounds like they're talking about, in my opinion. But I also think that a guild system, like investing in the guild system would be really nice for ArenaNet to do. But the achievement, I think the achievement system, maybe not even the guild system. I have a feeling that maybe the next system they look at the achievement system. If they could look at that whole mess that is achievements, like all of this shit on the side, if they could untangle all of this garbage and make that user friendly, oh, that would already be like such a step in the right direction, man. So much so. But yeah, I would just kind of wait and see. It sounds like ArenaNet is kind of doing that and kind of adding those things into the game in a way. All right, I've already finished. Have I finished every heart? I've finished every heart on this map. So I'm gonna have to kind of, because now we have to go into here or here. I'm gonna go into here first. So it's 25 to 35, but that lets me jump into here if I want to. I think I'm gonna go, actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna go down here because this is a longer map, so there's a lot more to do. I just need to get to 25 now. Without dying.
Adrenaline surging.
Yeah, I'm very hopeful with it. I'm very hopeful with the future of Guild Wars 2. If that's what they're doing, right? Like, it still remains to be seen if they're implementing these changes the way that we need them to. But it sounds like ArenaNet is kind of done with adding completely new things into the game. They want to introduce new things into the game by revitalizing old things, which I like it. I think it's a great philosophy. I'll be right back, you guys. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with that chat box over there on the other screen. It was like all over the place. Alright. Anyways, let's continue. Alright. So I have done okay. I do want to get up there. What else am I missing? I'm missing 2 points of interest. Oh no. Oh, I'm missing that one. That one is really tough. I don't want to do that. That one is really tough to get into as well. That one sucks. That one I could get. And that's all I have. Okay. So I guess I gotta defeat some enemies. Still trying to find a way to streamline this experience, because I'm really running into now I'm stuck at like 3 levels below. Like I wonder, but I really like starting as a anything. So Ascalon has this. Yeah, but see, I really like that I'm starting here because that lets me bleed right into the higher level areas without having to walk around too much. Baseball legend. Whoop. Oh. So, because that only brings me to 23. See here, I didn't complete a lot of the things. I didn't do that. I kind of moved on. Like the later parts too, I didn't do any of these because I was already high level. I'm trying to figure out how to best make that work. Because the thing is, if I say, okay, well, what if I take the time to level in some of these older areas first? But then again, the challenge isn't really there because I'm now at lower level areas doing those. Like doing those areas first. And it doesn't really, like, yeah, I scaled down, but it's not quite the same as in fighting something. I mean, maybe the challenge is still there.
Adrenaline surging.
I don't know. I have no clue. Because I could also go to higher level areas now. Technically, right? So maybe I'll just go to Lornar's Pass or something.
Yes, I'm ready to defeat anything.
I don't know, maybe I'll do that. But I'm gonna venture towards that. That's actually, oh, it's actually this way. It's actually down there. But I get some nice bonus experience and I'm about to level up. So hey, and maybe, you know, I'm thinking as well, right? Like we were just talking about it earlier, but maybe I'll get into raiding if we have like a looking for group tool that like works and I maybe can figure out some different roles that I want to do with my with some of my characters or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll get into raiding. I definitely want to get into strikes. I mean, that's something that I definitely want to do more of. I haven't really done any strikes, but it's such a shame because like the End of Dragon strikes, I only did those like 2 times maybe. I know the Harvest Temple one I did like once only. Like it kind of feels like a shame. I kind of want to do more of those going in or whatever. So I don't know, we'll see. Maybe with Visions of Eternity, we'll get some nice updates, some of that stuff, and I'll look into that. Oh, I'm almost leveled up. Almost, I gotta just kill that one sheep right here.
Adrenaline surging.
All right, leveled up. What do I get from it? Nothing that I need. Oh boy. Well, I'm gonna continue being a menace and killing the wildlife out here. What's even happening? I had like a weird visual glitch there. Like I can't see.
Adrenaline surging.
What's going on here?
I've got news if you've got ears.
Alright. I guess I'm gonna go early. Because there's a lot to do here in Lorna's Pass. There's 43 points of interest and stuff. So technically, maybe... I know it starts at level 26 here, but maybe I can get some good experience points. Alright, let's just go to that heart over here.
My boss.
Alright, I'm gonna help these guys out.
Good hunting.
Roadblock.
You think I'm scared of you? You haven't met my boss.
Adrenaline
Great.
surging.
More dredge. You think I'm scared of you? You haven't met my boss.
On today's menu, ready.
We're probably gonna head out in a minute as well. I know I didn't stream too long, but I have to work tomorrow. It's always fun. And I do want to work on some videos as well. There's a couple more videos that I have planned as of right now, but I'm sure that'll change by next week. Because next week we're gonna see probably some different stuff.
You
Jesus,
haven't
so
met my
bright.
boss.
Run. While you still
Great.
have leg
More
on today's
dredge.
menu.
No one's helping me. Someone help with this freaking roadblock. It's taking me forever. Like there's 3 people just standing around doing nothing.
Great. More dread.
Run while you still have legs.
You think I'm scared of you? You
Adrenaline
haven't
surging.
met my boss. Choke on this, Mo. You think I'm scared of you? You haven't met
All right,
my
get the
boss.
roadblock. Oh god, oh god, I'm running. Too many of them over there. Oh god, now we have a cannon here? Jesus.
So much power. I can take on the world.
Ow. Whoa, that was a lot of
First
damage.
hit is mine.
Oh, this guy?
Hostiles are upon us.
Jesus, why so much damage, bro?
To battle.
Oh my god.
You think I'm scared of you?
Looking to spend
You
some
haven't met
coin?
Alright, I'm gonna go fix some fences and stuff. Jeez.
You think I'm
Another victory coming up.
You haven't met my boss.
Yeah, you go help over there.
Hostiles are upon us.
Ha! Don't come back.
I'm proud of you, Loretta. You got the ingredients, saved the lodge, and drove out violent customers.
Thanks, Chef. Did you go through this when you were being trained?
There was more screaming, more blood. One time I must have
Oh,
made me fight a
traveler.
troll so I could earn my cleaver.
Passed out drunk over here. Passed out drunk over here. Fixing the fences does like nothing. And you can't if you fix another one really quickly after it, it actually doesn't work. So you have to kind of wait in between, because otherwise it doesn't count. It'll rebuild it, but doesn't actually count. You do it too close to him. I guess I'll revive the Dolyak here.
I can't drink this watered down foam.
See? The same thing there. Super annoying. Alright, there's a pass out drunk here. I love how they sleep. They sleep like little kittens. All curled up. Is there some inside that are sleeping?
I can't drink this watered down.
No.
Hey, can't even get a decent meal around here.
How dare they?
Ordering patron. Give me some meat on a stick. Alright, let's go find a meat. Oh, there we go. What do you want? Oh, I don't want to fight.
I can't drink this watered down foam. How
Here you
dare
go.
traveler?
Ah, perfect. Done. Alright, I'm probably gonna head out now. Just because I need to get up early. But yeah, I will continue this at some point. I'm gonna actually go inside the safe. So, but yeah, thank you, NM. Thank you, everyone was like kind of here today. Mishking was here. Shatko was here. There was other people here. I don't even remember. Scott was here. Thank you for using my link, by the way. Thank you so much. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Thank you everyone that was here hanging out. I don't know when I'll be back. I have no clue. Probably next week sometime, but look out for some videos on my channel and stuff. And as always, if you guys want to hang out in the Discord, it's growing more and more. We always get more people in the Discord, so it's really nice to hang out. And like I said, you can find me on the Discord. You know, if you ever want to chat or whatever, I'm usually hanging out there too. So, but yeah. Friday is going to be the stream for the Homestead, which I'm not super interested in. I don't think that's going to be something really for me, but it's still going to be interesting to kind of look at. And then next week, I'm hoping that ArenaNet is going to maybe talk about skimmer masteries, or the Inquest, or the looking for group tool, or like anything like that. I don't know. So we'll have to see. But